Chapter 628. Professor Qiaofeng? Say something. Lu Jie pushed Qin Feng's shoulder when he saw Qin Feng was ignoring him. Everyone please search, I'm fine. Let's sit over there for a while. Qin Feng came back to his senses and cleared his mind of all the messy thoughts in his head. He led Lu Jie to a quiet corner and sat down. After they sat down, Lu Jie was excited. Professor Qiaofeng, you were so domineering just now. Do you know that I saw the shadow of my boss in you? If I hadn't already acknowledged you as my boss and promised to be my boss's follower, I would have acknowledged you as my boss right now. Qin Feng listened to Lu Jie's incessant yelling and chatting with him from time to time. Qin Feng's gaze swept across the hall on the first floor. He wanted to find Qin Zhao's figure, but Qin Zhao didn't seem to be on the first floor. Professor Qiaofeng, are you listening to me? After flattering Qin Feng for a long time, Lu Jie suddenly realized that Professor Qiaofeng was absent-minded. Of course I'm listening. Qin Feng lied without batting an eyelid. Lu Jie rolled his eyes and said, Professor Qiaofeng, can you repeat what I said earlier? Qin Feng's mouth twitched. He had no idea what Lu Jie had said earlier. Lu Jie, you did well just now. When Gao Tianyao was going to beat me up, you stood up for me. I'm very touched. Qin Feng changed the topic in an attempt to get away with it. When Lu Jie heard Qin Feng's compliment, he forgot what he had said earlier. His face was full of smiles. Halfway through his smile, Lu Jie blushed and looked at Qin Feng embarrassedly. Professor Qiaofeng, actually, I'm not as good as you think I am. I was thinking about the overlord slash that you mentioned last time. I was afraid that if I didn't help you, you wouldn't have given me the overlord slash. Qin Feng was touched when Lu Jie helped him. However, at this moment, Qin Feng could only roll his eyes at him. Seeing that Qin Feng's expression had changed, Lu Jie began to flatter Qin Feng again. However, Qin Feng didn't want to talk to the fatty anymore. Instead, he swept his gaze across the crowd in the hall. Qin Feng didn't think that the capital's 4 young masters had such great influence. Tonight, quite a few wealthy young masters came. Qin Feng saw Yunzhe Liangyu and someone who looked like Wei Xiaolei in the crowd. After listening to that person's conversation with others, Qin Feng confirmed his identity. It was Wei Xiaolei's cousin Wei Tianhao. Qin Feng had visited the Liang family a few nights ago and asked Liangyu not to get close to women in the future. Even so, Qin Feng was furious when he saw Liangyu. Who told this brat to have designs on Zhaoling Xian? He was simply seeking death. I'm going to the washroom. Wait for me here, Qin Feng said to Lu Jie before he stood up and walked toward the washroom at the end of the hall. There was no one in the restroom, so Qin Feng entered a cubicle for squatting and took out his phone to make a call. The call was quickly connected, and a trembling voice was heard. Senior Green Wolf, you're calling me in the middle of the night. Is there something wrong? The person who spoke was Liang Yu's father, Liang Shuiping. When he saw Green Wolf's number, he was so shocked that he almost threw his phone away. Xiaoliang, there is indeed a small matter that I need your help with. You won't find it troublesome, right? Qin Feng spoke in Green Wolf's voice. Io, what are you saying, Senior Green Wolf? If you need anything, just tell me. To be able to help Senior Green Wolf is my good fortune from my past life. Ever since Liang Shuiping witnessed Green Wolf's destructive flames and his ability to come and go without a trace, he feared Green Wolf from the bottom of his heart. If that's the case, then I won't be courteous with you, Xiao Liang. I have a little brother called Lu Jie. He just called me and said that he was bullied by a few wealthy young masters at the Soaring Cloud Manor. Tell that brat Liang Yu to go to the Soaring Cloud Manor and find Lu Jie. Tell him to help my little brother get back at him. Qin Feng said indifferently. Get back at those wealthy young masters? This matter. Liang Shuiping was instantly speechless. Of course, he knew that tonight was the gathering of the wealthy at the Soaring Cloud Manor. The guests were all descendants of the capital's upper class. Even if the Liang family was one of the 5 small families in the capital, they weren't powerful enough to cause trouble at a place like that. Before Liang Shuiping could finish, Qin Feng's voice suddenly turned cold. Xiaoliang, can't your Liang family handle such a small matter? It seems like there's no point for me to keep the Liang family. Liang Shuiping was scared half to death by Qin Feng's words. He believed that Green Wolf had the ability to destroy the Liang family. Even if he couldn't destroy the Liang family, he could destroy Liang Shuiping with a wave of his hand. However, Liang Shuiping was very aggrieved. How could this be called a small matter? You can't fool people like this. Ahem. Senior Green Wolf, don't worry. The Liang family can handle this. I'll call Liang Yu right now and ask him to help Senior's little brother get back at him. Liang Shuiping could only bite the bullet and agree. Very well, I'll give the Liang family 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, if my little brother still calls me to complain, I'll go there myself. By the way, I'm not going to the Soaring Cloud Mansion. I'm going to the Liang family. Qin Feng hung up after giving his instructions. Liang Shuiping gnashed his teeth in anger. It's not the Liang family who bullied your little brother. If you have the guts, go to the Soaring Cloud Manor and cause trouble. What do you mean by destroying the Liang family? After complaining, Liang Shuiping picked up his phone obediently and hurriedly called Liang Yu. Professor Qiao Feng, why did you take so long to go to the washroom? I almost went to look for you. As soon as Qin Feng returned, Lu Jie shouted at him anxiously. Qin Feng thought something had happened. Why did you look for me? I told you I was going to the washroom. Professor Qiao Feng, you don't know how evil those rich young masters are. You offended Gao Tianyao just now, and I'm afraid that he'll take revenge on you. When the capital's 4 young masters come, I'll greet them and we'll leave. We can't stay here for long. Seeing Lu Jie's nervous expression, Qin Feng shrugged indifferently. What's there to be afraid of? God will deal with the evildoers. Just you wait. Gao Tianyao and those rich young masters who bullied you will definitely get what they deserve tonight. Lu Jie obviously didn't believe Qin Feng's words. He turned his chubby face around and was constantly on guard against a sneak attack. Qin Feng also scanned the crowd and quickly found Liang Yu's figure. At this moment, Liang Yu was immersed in a group of women. He said some jokes that made the sexy beauties laugh. Liang Yu occasionally touched the beauties' slender waists and took the opportunity to glance at their collars. He was obviously flirting with them. Seeing this, Qin Feng was very angry. This guy simply turned a deaf ear to his words. But soon, Liang Yu retreated from the group of women and stood in a corner to answer a call. Liang Yu's cheerful expression changed again and again. In the end, it was filled with fear and despair. Even if Qin Feng didn't deliberately eavesdrop, he knew it was Liang Shuiping who called. A minute later, Liang Yu hung up. The phone in his hand had already slipped and fallen to the ground, but he didn't care. Liang Yu looked as if his soul had been sucked out. His body had lost all its strength, and he was leaning against the marble wall with a pained expression as if his father had died. Qin Feng had personally witnessed Liang Yu's fall from high spirits in a group of flowers to his current dispirited, and helpless state. Qin Feng was so happy that he almost died. Professor Qiao Feng, why are you smiling like an idiot? Don't doubt what I just said. You're not from a rich family, so you don't understand how treacherous and cunning rich families are. Gao Tianyao will definitely take revenge on us tonight. Professor Qiao Feng, you should be more vigilant. Don't stare at those women's breasts and smile like an idiot. Those are all fake silicone. Lu Jie had been sneaky the whole night and had been on his guard. Qin Feng had to hand it to him. Before Qin Feng could refute him, there was a sudden scream in the lobby. It sounded like someone was fighting again. Fuck. Professor Qiao Feng, you're a godly mathematician. They're really fighting. The Liang family's young master, Liang Yu, is fighting with Gao Tianyao and the others. It was a mess in the lobby on the first floor. Liang Yu chased after Gao Tianyao, Luo Bin, and the other rich young masters like a madman and beat them up. The Liang family was one of the 5 small families in the capital and ranked second. However, the Liang family was special. They were in the business of medicinal herbs, and martial artists needed these medicinal herbs to speed up their breakthroughs. Therefore, the Liang family had a high status. I couldn't tell that the Liang family's young master had been hiding his strength all this time. He has already broken through to stage 4 inner qi, and he's clearly more powerful than Gao Tianyao. Everyone get out of the way. Liang Yu has gone crazy. He's hitting everyone he sees. Don't get hurt by accident. He scared me to death. This guy just asked me to get a room tonight. Luckily, I didn't agree. Otherwise, he would have killed me if he went crazy. The crowd was in chaos. Some ran away with their heads in their hands, some screamed for help, and most of them gathered around to watch the show. Soon everyone realized that Liang Yu was not really crazy. His targets were the 5 people he had been attacking: Gao Tianyao, Luo Bin, and the other 3 rich young masters. If someone was observant, they would realize that these 5 people were the 5 people who had offended Lu Jie not long ago. Liang Yu, are you fucking crazy? Gao Tianyao had just been beaten up by Lu Jie. And now he was being chased and beaten by Liang Yu. He thought his stage 4 inner chi was the best among his peers, but today he realized how much of a scumbag he was. Young Master Liang, we have no enmity between us, so why did you attack me? Did you make a mistake? Luo Bin's family researched and developed advanced technology. He looked down on people who practiced ancient martial arts the most. What use was it to be strong in cultivation? 1 bullet could kill you. Of course, that was because Luo Bin had never seen a real ancient martial arts expert. As for the remaining 3 rich young masters, they did not even have the chance to beg for mercy before Liang Yu knocked them out with 3 slaps. Luo Bin, who had always looked down on ancient martial arts, did not last long. He was kicked to the ceiling by Liang Yu and hung from the chandelier in the middle of the hall. The chandelier swayed, and Luo Bin looked like he was going to fall at any moment. Many women screamed in fear. Liang Yu, don't go too far. Do you know what you're doing? Only Gao Tianyao was left. Liang Yu chased Gao Tianyao all over the house. He had completely lost face today. Gao Tianyao was angry and aggrieved. He did not know how he had offended Liang Yu. Usually, the 2 of them would exchange pleasantries when they met, and they even went for a foot bath together once. How could this person turn hostile just like that? Gao Tianyao was aggrieved, but Liang Yu was even more aggrieved. Liang Yu's heart was bleeding as he watched the rich young masters being knocked unconscious and sent flying. If Green Wolf had not forced him to this point, Liang Yu would not have done such a thing unless his brain was jammed in the door. Liang Yu could already imagine that after this gathering of the rich and powerful, the Liang family would be attacked by the other big families. Liang Yu's hopes of competing for the position of the Liang family's young master would be completely shattered. P.S. Happy birthday to myself. Happy birthday to all of you who have never met each other but have birthdays today. Chapter 629. The entire first-floor hall fell into a dead silence. Only Gao Tianyao's painful cries and screams could be heard. The disciples of the major families stared at the scene with their mouths agape. Some of them even pinched their thighs. The sharp pain told them that it wasn't a dream. Everything was real. Was it really fucking real? Liang Yu is crazy. This was the thought that flashed through everyone's mind at the same time. Aside from this explanation, no one could find any other reasonable explanation. Even if everyone racked their brains in hopes of showing off more of themselves in this kind of gathering of wealthy families, just like how Qin Shao had become the center of attention, no one would use such an extreme method as Liang Yu. Everyone please search for the most complete version. The fastest update: Liang Yu was indeed the center of attention tonight. But the Liang family was not far from being blacklisted. Bang! While everyone was stunned for a few seconds, Liang Yu had already caught up to Gao Tianyao. With a flying kick, he sent Gao Tianyao hanging on another chandelier on the roof. Gao Tianyao was a stage 4 inner chi martial artist after all, so he did not faint after flying up. However, when he saw his embarrassing appearance, he closed his eyes and pretended to faint. Phew! Everyone took a deep breath and tensed up at the same time. Would Liang Yu come to deal with them after he dealt with Gao Tianyao and his gang? What wouldn't he do when he was crazy? Liang Yu didn't continue his madness. After he knocked out Gao Tianyao and his gang, Liang Yu appeared beside Lu Jie in a flash as if he had been freed. Lu Jie's expression turned cold. He quickly pulled Qin Feng behind him and glared at Liang Yu like a tiger watching its prey. He thought Liang Yu was here to cause trouble. Are you satisfied, young Master Lu? Liang Yu asked respectfully before Lu Jie could speak. Lu Jie was dumbfounded. What do you mean satisfied? What am I satisfied about? What do you mean? Get out of my sight if you don't have anything to say. Don't think I'm afraid of you just because you're a stage 4 inner chi martial artist. Let me tell you, I'm also a stage 4 inner chi martial artist. Lu Jie was not afraid of stirring up trouble since he had fought Gao Tianyao tonight. Lu Jie growled. Inner chi surged out of his body. Obviously, he had reached the peak of stage 4 inner qi. Sensing that Lu Jie's inner qi was not inferior to his, the corners of Liang Yu's mouth twitched, and he almost fainted from anger. You can beat Gao Tianyao and the others. Why are you pretending to be a sick cat? Why would he call Green Wolf over such a trivial matter? Did you eat too much? Liang Yu gritted his teeth in anger, but when he remembered that Lu Jie was Green Wolf's underling, he didn't dare to vent his anger. He had to force a smile on his face to please Lu Jie. Since young Master Lu is satisfied, I'll take my leave. Whoosh! Bang! After receiving Lu Jie's approval, Liang Yu turned around to leave. He had beaten someone up in the soaring cloud manner, so if he didn't leave now, he wouldn't be able to. However, just as Liang Yu moved, a gust of wind assaulted him. Liang Yu's body instantly turned into a kite with a broken string. He flew straight into the marble wall, causing fine cracks to appear on the hard marble. From the moment Liang Yu was about to escape to crashing into the wall and sliding to the ground, it only took the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye, everyone was surprised to see a man in black standing next to Lu Jie. The man was in his early 40s. He had short hair, was tall, and his muscles looked like they were going to burst out of his skin. He stood there quietly. He didn't look angry, but he exuded an imposing aura. His black eyes emitted a terrifying light. Uncle Hu! Someone in the crowd couldn't help but cry out in surprise. It seemed like this person's status was definitely not low. Hearing the two words Uncle Hu, the expressions of the other rich young masters and young mistresses changed. Most of them were shocked and panicked. Anyone who frequented the Soaring Cloud Manor must have heard of the names of these two people, Uncle Hu and Lord Long. Lord Long was too mysterious. Almost no one had seen him in person. However, Uncle Hu guarded the Soaring Cloud Manor every day. As long as there was a fight or a disturbance, he would appear. He was the head butler of the Soaring Cloud Manor, and he was also known as the Soaring Cloud Manor's #1 hotshot. Who dares to make trouble in the Soaring Cloud Manor? Which family's bastard is this? Uncle Hu's voice was deep and carried an invisible majesty. Just the aura of his voice alone was enough to make many people gasp for breath. Reply, Uncle Hu, this is the young master of the Liang family. A young master with a higher status in the crowd replied in a trembling voice. Uncle Hu frowned slightly and snorted coldly. Humph! You shitty young masters don't know the rules at all. You only know how to flirt with girls and squander money all day long. Look at your bodies. All of you are so weak that you can't even stand a gust of wind. I heard that the eldest grandson of the Liang family is one of the stronger ones in your generation, but he fainted before even withstanding one punch from me. He can't even withstand a single blow from me. How powerful was the Soaring Cloud Manor? It was obvious from Uncle Hu's words that something was fishy. Uncle Hu didn't even ask about Liang Yu's identity and knocked him out with one punch. He even insulted these rich young masters to the point that they were worthless. Not everyone had this kind of arrogance. Uncle Hu, what should we do with that kid? Another two men came to Uncle Hu's side. Judging from their attire, they should be the patrolling security guards of the Soaring Cloud Manor. Uncle Hu glared at the two of them and said indifferently, just throw him out since he's crippled of his inner force. Also, do you guys have any sense of propriety? Come to me and ask for forgiveness after work tonight. Yes, Uncle Hu. The two security guards were stage 4 inner qi experts, but they trembled like mice in front of a cat in front of Uncle Hu. After receiving Uncle Hu's order, the two of them quickly walked to Liang Yu's side. One of them lifted Liang Yu while the other reached out and slapped Liang Yu's dantian. They were ready to cripple Liang Yu's inner force. It was rare to see a stage 4 inner qi in his 20s, even in the martial arts world outside of China. Seeing that Liang Yu's inner force was about to be crippled, everyone's eyes were filled with complicated emotions. Wait, Liang Shuiping of the Liang family is here to visit. Please show mercy, head tiger. The security guard who was about to cripple Liang Yu's inner force stopped. It wasn't because of Liang Shuiping's words, but because a man in a white exercise suit had appeared beside Liang Yu and pushed the stage 4 inner qi guard more than 10 meters away with a light palm strike. Everyone exclaimed in their hearts and looked toward the entrance of the Soaring Cloud Manor. Liang Shuiping, who was dressed in a green tang suit, was walking quickly toward them with a cold expression. Head tiger. My son is still young and doesn't understand etiquette. If he offended you in any way, please forgive him. Liang Shuiping had already reached Uncle Hu's side. But Uncle Hu didn't even look at Liang Yu. He stared coldly at the man in white who was supporting Liang Yu. Uncle Hu didn't say anything, but his eyes emitted a sharp, cold light. His aura rose a lot, and Liang Shuiping felt a little oppressed standing next to him. This brat caused trouble in the Soaring Cloud Manor and injured 5 people. How are we going to settle this? Uncle Hu was silent for a moment before he suddenly opened his mouth. His voice was so deep that it was about to freeze. This is my son's fault. After this, I will go to each of the family masters to apologize to them. I will also come to the Soaring Cloud Manor to apologize to Master Long. I hope Head Tiger will give me some face and forgive my son this time. Nowadays, Chinese ancient martial arts are declining. As a senior, shouldn't you cherish these martial arts geniuses? Liang Shuiping glanced at Lu Jia, who was behind Head Tiger. He was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. If it wasn't for Lu Jia, would Green Wolf have called? If it wasn't for Green Wolf, Liang Shuiping wouldn't have allowed his son to cause trouble. Liang Shuiping had already guessed that his son wouldn't be able to leave after causing trouble, so he hurried over with the Liang family's #1 bodyguard. This kind of trash is considered a martial arts genius from the younger generation. Then Chinese ancient martial arts are really going to decline. Uncle Hu snorted coldly, but he didn't say whether he agreed or not. The atmosphere suddenly turned cold. The rich young masters and daughters didn't dare to speak carelessly. Liang Shuiping also shut his mouth. Everyone was waiting for Uncle Hu to make the final decision. Uncle Hu glanced at the man in white in the corner and said reluctantly, "Take your idiot and get lost. Don't let me see him in the Soaring Cloud Manor again." Liang Shuiping was the eldest brother of the Liang family. He was furious that Uncle Hu told him to get lost in front of so many rich young masters, but he didn't explode. "Let's go, Protector Yun." Liang Yu turned around and left, but Protector Yun didn't hurry to leave. He waited until Liang Shuiping walked out of the Soaring Cloud Manor's main entrance before carrying Liang Yu with one hand. In a few breaths' time, his figure disappeared from the hall. Phew! Everyone heaved a sigh of relief as they watched the Liang family members leave. Uncle Hu and Guardian Yun of the Liang family had given them too much pressure. No one could see through Guardian Yun's true strength, but Qin Feng and Uncle Hu knew that he was a Stage 7 inner Qi expert. Take care of the aftermath. If something like this happens again tonight, I won't forgive you. Uncle Hu was also holding back his anger. He yelled at the 2 security guards. The security guards were so scared that they trembled and hurriedly got to work. The farce was finally over. Uncle Hu went up to the 3rd floor, and a few security guards ran out to check on Gao Tianyao and the others' injuries. Qin Feng and Lu Jia returned to their original seats and sat down. What the fuck? That scared me to death. Who are these people? Why are they so scary? Lu Jia yelled as soon as he sat down. He was standing next to Uncle Hu, so he thought Uncle Hu was there to slap him. In the end, Uncle Hu sent Liang Yu flying with a punch. Lu Jia's face was still pale. Professor Qiaofeng, aren't you afraid? Lu Jia looked at the calm Qin Feng, who seemed to be thinking about something. Lu Jia began to admire Qin Feng. I didn't cause any trouble. What's there to be afraid of? Qin Feng spoke confidently, but he was the one who stirred up all the trouble tonight. Lu Jia didn't quite agree with Qin Feng's words. He felt that in this society if you didn't cause trouble, others wouldn't cause trouble for you. Lu Jia usually didn't cause trouble, but there were plenty of people who caused trouble for him. For example, when he arrived at the lobby tonight, he was surrounded and bombarded by 5 young masters. Lu Jia was so scared that he broke out in a sweat. He fanned himself with his chubby hands and muttered, Professor Qiaofeng, I think that Liang Yu is really crazy. I'm not familiar with him at all and we've barely spoken, but he suddenly appeared next to me and asked if I was satisfied. If this person isn't crazy, then what is? I think he's epileptic. Liang Yu helped Lu Jia vent his anger tonight, and now Lu Jia called him epileptic. Qin Feng couldn't help but laugh. Ding. The Hedonist sovereign system has issued a quest. Intimidate the capital's 4 young masters and suppress their limelight. Quest time limit. 1 day. If the quest is successfully completed, the system will reward you 10,000 Hedonist points, 500 G of purple star sand, and a foot of black luo wood. If the quest is failed, 20,000 Hedonist points will be deducted, and the Galaxy Flying Swords interface will be sealed. The system's cold voice suddenly rang in Qin Feng's mind. This quest really shocked Qin Feng. The quest time limit was only 1 day, and that was to suppress the capital's 4 young masters at tonight's gathering. If Qin Feng hadn't met Uncle Hu, he might have thought that the quest was ordinary. However, after meeting Uncle Hu, Qin Feng wasn't confident. Uncle Hu seemed to be an expert who cultivated external techniques, and Qin Feng couldn't see through his strength. If Qin Feng slapped the capital's 4 young masters in the face tonight, he would be challenging Uncle Hu's authority. Qin Feng might be able to defeat Uncle Hu if he was in a remote place with no one around. However, in the Soaring Cloud Mansion, Qin Feng could only use the identity of Qiao Feng. He couldn't use the sky-splitting axe, 9 swords beyond the swords, or other spiritual weapons and cultivation methods. Otherwise, his identity would be exposed. Moreover, the reward for this quest was too cruel. It directly sealed the Galaxy Flying Swords interface, which Qin Feng spent 100,000 Hedonist points to unlock. Chapter 630. The capital's 4 young masters are here. While Qin Feng was having a headache over the new mission, an exclamation came from the crowd. It was filled with a strong air of pretentiousness. Fuck, the 4 young masters of pretentiousness are here. I'll go greet them now, then we'll leave. When Wuxia saw the capital's 4 young masters enter, he rushed forward like the others. The scene was like a fan meet and greet. Qin Feng continued to sit in the corner, and his gaze swept across the 4 young masters. Lu Shu and Yang Qin were 2 of the 4 young masters. The fat Lu Shu was still wearing the well-tailored burgundy suit he wore at the coffee shop in the afternoon. Yang Qin had changed his white suit and was now wearing a purple suit. His entire person looked demonic. Beside Lu Shu and Yang Qin were the other 2 young masters. Qin Feng recognized one of them. It was Sima Xiang, who he met at the blacksmith shop in martial artist town. It was said that after Sima II died, the Sima family had trained a new martial artist, and that was Sima Xiang. The man on the far left was wearing a pink suit. He looked as fresh and delicate as a young boy. He had a youthful and gentle aura. It was Qin Feng's first time seeing him. However, Wuxia had told Qin Feng about the capital's 4 young masters. This young man in the pink suit was the eldest son of the Dongfang family, Dongfang Haoran. Of course, he was also the younger brother of Qin Feng's fiancée, Dongfang Qing Shui. Logically speaking, Dongfang Haoran should call Qin Feng brother-in-law. While Qin Feng was sizing up the 4 young masters, the wealthy young masters and heiresses in the hall had already surrounded the capital's 4 young masters and were scrambling to flatter the 4 young masters. Wuxia also squeezed into the crowd and wanted to rush forward. However, he was met with cold stares from the people around him, who asked him to be so fat. It was fine that he couldn't squeeze in, but he also blocked the way of others. Young Master Lu, you are becoming more and more elegant. Do you have time tonight? Treat me to a drink. Young Master Yang, you look so handsome in your purple suit tonight. You're even more handsome than the male lead in the popular TV series Hui Shoots the Sun. Oh no, descendants of the sun, young master you, your hairstyle today matches your shoes so well. Young Master Haoran, you are the most charming when you smile. Ayo, help me up, I'm going to faint. Those who rushed to the front were almost all women. When they saw the 4 young masters of the capital, these women had already gone crazy. They were used to throwing themselves at them. Some scheming female stars deliberately pulled down their skirts. They were originally low-cut, but now they had become a group of half-breasts. The 4 young masters of the capital stood motionlessly at the door. Behind them were 2 security guards from Soaring Cloud Manor. Lu Shu, Yang Can, and Sima Xiang all had arrogant expressions on their faces. They were posing in different cool PSS poses, clearly enjoying the feeling of being praised by everyone. Dongfang Haoran stood at the very edge. His star-like black eyes were cold and indifferent. In the face of these rich young masters and rich young ladies, he didn't seem to be very interested. After standing at the door for a moment, Lu Shu and Yang Qin exchanged glances. Both of them nodded. Invisible inner chi burst out from the body of the security guard behind them. The crowd that was crowding over immediately felt the pressure and took the initiative to make way for them. Wherever the 4 young masters of the capital went, there would be a burst of crazy screams. The effect was the same as the audience for "I Am a Singer." Qin Feng wondered if there were paid actors mixed in with the crowd. The 4 young masters of the capital arrived at the center of the hall. Everyone formed a large circle around the 4 young masters and greeted them. Even Qin Feng couldn't stand it anymore. "Teacher Qiao Feng, let's go." Qin Feng was thinking about how to suppress the 4 young masters of the capital and complete the system's quest. Wuxia had already run back. Looking at his sweaty face, he had probably squeezed into the crowd and greeted the 4 young masters of the capital. "Are you done greeting them?" Qin Feng didn't have any intention of leaving. He sat on a chair and leisurely drank his coffee. "I just finished. People these days are too snobbish. You don't know how shameless those noble ladies and celebrities are in order to curry favor with those 4 young masters. They're so disgusting that they can't wait to strip naked and throw themselves at them." Wuxia complained for a while, then picked up the cup of tea on the table and gulped it down. Gulp, gulp, gulp. After drinking, Wuxia continued to complain. "What kind of taste do these young models have? Why doesn't anyone try to curry favor with me? Sigh. They're all blind." Qin Feng's mouth twitched. He opened his mouth but no words came out. "Teacher Qiao Feng, do you want to go and greet them? Those women are crazy. You might be able to take advantage of them. But don't get your hopes up, Teacher Qiao Feng. Those young models and celebrities don't even like me, so they definitely won't like you." Qin Feng didn't know where Wuxia got his confidence from. He suddenly agreed with Gao Tianyao and the others to attack Wuxia. "Teacher Qiao Feng, if you're not going to greet them, then let's go." After Wuxia finished his tea, he drank Qin Feng's coffee without asking for Qin Feng's permission. Qin Feng almost kicked the fatty out of the room. "Why are you in such a hurry to leave? It's good to sit and look at the beauties." Qin Feng didn't finish his mission, so he naturally wouldn't leave. Wuxia squeezed into the crowd and greeted them as if he had participated in a war. He panted and sat down. "Teacher Qiao Feng, there are beauties everywhere. But we only have one life. If we don't leave, they'll take revenge on us." Wuxia's small eyes narrowed into slits, and he looked around the hall with a vigilant expression. "Revenge my ass. Gao Tianyao and the others were knocked out by Liang Yu, and they've all been sent home. Who's going to take revenge on you?" Qin Feng felt ashamed to have such a cowardly follower. Wuxia had a look of sudden realization. He was so excited that the fat on his face trembled. "Haha. Oh right, how could I forget about this? Teacher Qiao Feng, I'm suddenly grateful to that Liang Yu. He's not epileptic, he's Lei Feng." Wuxia's silly Chinibu started acting up again, and Qin Feng ignored him. When he realized that Gao Tianyao and the other rich heirs had been sent away, Wuxia's vigilant expression relaxed. He ran to the dining car and grabbed a dozen plates of delicacies. He wolfed them down as if he had just escaped from a refugee camp. The hall was still bustling with activity. The rich heirs and daughters surrounded the 4 young masters. No one left and more people gathered. "Oh my God! Miss Dongfang Qingxue is here? Am I seeing things?" A sudden exclamation came from the lively crowd. Everyone was shocked, and they all stopped what they were doing and looked toward the entrance. Even the 4 young masters of the capital had a drastic change in expression. Their mouths were wide open and they couldn't close them. Soaring Cloud Mansion's main entrance. A fresh and beautiful figure slowly walked in. The woman was tall and graceful, and she wore a pink qipao. Her breasts were soft and supple, and she had long legs and a willowy waist. Her face was covered by a white veil, and she had a fresh and refined temperament. She was like a fairy that had descended from the heavens. The face under the white veil was like a shadow, and it was as hazy as the moon, captivating and captivating. The 4 young masters of the capital forgot to drink the red wine they raised to their lips. The young model's body trembled, and she seemed ashamed of herself in front of Dongfang Qingxue's beauty and refined temperament. The rich heirs' hearts were about to jump out of their throats. Wuxia's saliva hung by the side of his mouth, and Qin Feng's eyes were shining. How could the word beautiful be enough to describe her? She was like a fairy that had descended from the heavens, fresh and clean. Miss Qing Shui. It really is Miss Qing Shui. I'm not dreaming, am I? I can't believe I'm seeing Miss Qing Shui in person. I've been in the capital for more than 20 years, and this is the first time I've seen her. It's said that Qing Shui is the freshest of the 4 fairies of the capital. I can almost smell the soil after a rain. Dongfang Qing Shui's arrival caused the entire hall to explode. She was only one person, but she was more popular than the 4 young masters of the capital. Even the 4 young masters of the capital took the initiative to greet Dongfang Qing Shui. Older sister, why are you here? Dongfang Hao Ran walked next to Dongfang Qing Shui and looked curiously at his older sister. Dongfang Hao Ran's older sister had a cold and arrogant personality. She had never participated in this kind of gathering in the past 25 years, so why did she suddenly come today? The other 3 young masters didn't dare to be like Dongfang Hao Ran and directly stood next to Dongfang Qing Shui. The 3 of them all stood half a meter away from Dongfang Qing Shui. As for the other young masters and daughters, they all stood behind the 3 young masters, anxiously and curiously looking at Dongfang Qing Shui. Dongfang Qing Shui nodded at her younger brother, but she didn't say anything. Her pair of starry eyes swept over the crowd. Suddenly, Dongfang Qing Shui raised her jade hand and slowly took off the snow-white veil on her face. An almost perfect face that made people's blood vessels swell appeared. The silent hall was filled with the sound of saliva being swallowed. Through the veil, one could forget the hazy beauty of the moon. Through the veil, one could see that the person was even more beautiful than the moon. Older sister Yu Dongfang Hao Ran jumped in fright and reached out to put Dongfang Qing Shui's veil back on. Dongfang Qing Shui slightly raised her hand to interrupt her younger brother and said, "It's fine. I came today so I know what I'm doing." Whoosh! Seeing Dongfang Qing Shui take off her veil and quietly stand in front of them, everyone's heart began to beat faster. Especially those rich young masters. Their hearts were filled with excitement and they wanted to shout 3 times. Everyone in the capital's celebrity circle knew that there were 4 fairies in the capital. Each one was as beautiful as a goddess and Dongfang Qing Shui was one of them. Dongfang Qing Shui almost never appeared in public. Even if she did, she would wear a veil. This was because the Dongfang family's patriarch once said that the day his granddaughter took off her veil, it meant that his granddaughter had found a good family and was preparing to get married. Today, more than half of the capital's rich young masters saw Dongfang Qing Shui take off her veil. Could it be that she had found her ideal husband? Or was she preparing to find a man at tonight's gathering to get married? Teacher Qiaofeng, stop looking. Do you know who that person is? She's one of the capital's 4 fairies, Dongfang Qing Shui. Her grandfather is China's red dragon, Dongfang Ming Wang. I'm just a young master from a small family. I don't even have the qualifications to carry her shoes. Teacher Qiaofeng is just a normal teacher. He's not even qualified to be her fan. Lu Jie shook his head and sighed while stealing glances at Dongfang Qing Shui from time to time. Qin Feng kicked Lu Jie under the table and said, "Shut up." Lu Jie's little elephant leg was almost broken from the kick. He grimaced in pain. Teacher Qiaofeng, how could you hit someone? Don't dislike what I said just now, I was trying to save you. Your identity and Miss Dongfang Qing Shui's are 2 parallel lines. There's no way they'll intersect. If you really fall in love with Dongfang Qing Shui, you'll only bring trouble to yourself. Qin Feng kicked Lu Jie again. He was so angry that his face darkened. Who told you I'm going to chase that girl? Are you looking for trouble? P.S. Brothers who still have monthly votes, please vote for young master Du. Thanks. Chapter 631. Dongfang Qing Shui's voice was pleasant, but it carried a trace of indifference. Even so, it didn't stop the capital's young masters from fanatically liking her. Everyone, Qing Shui's sudden visit may have spoiled everyone's mood. So I'll take up a bit of your time. I'll take advantage of tonight's gathering to announce something. Dongfang Qing Shui stood in front of the door. The corner of her pink qipao fluttered in the wind, and her fine black hair also fluttered. She was picturesque, as if her body was blooming with the radiance of an angel. Everyone held their breaths. How could their mood be spoiled by Dongfang Qing Shui's arrival? At this moment their interest exploded. Although the surroundings were silent, the hearts of these young masters were off the charts. Fortunately, they were all young and strong. Otherwise, they would have had a heart attack. Everyone welcomed Dongfang Qingxue. They were even infatuated with this fairy-like beauty. However, Dongfang Qingxue's family background was too high. Even the rich and powerful disciples of the capital had to look up to Dongfang Qingxue. Therefore, they didn't dare to swarm her and cheer like the capital's 4 young masters. Everyone maintained a certain distance from Dongfang Qingxue, including the capital's 3 young masters. This was because everyone knew Dongfang Qingxue had a cold personality and didn't like crowds. They were afraid of angering Dongfang Qingxue. Dongfang Qingxue's voice was as ethereal as water. Halfway through, she suddenly stopped. A strange light flashed through her starry eyes. She seemed to be hesitating about something. She was indeed conflicted. She didn't know if tonight's decision was right or wrong. Dongfang Qingxue came to the Soaring Cloud Manor because she was angry at one person. And the man who made Dongfang Qingxue angry was her fiancé, Qin Feng. 4 months ago, Dongfang Qingxue's grandfather called her back from America and forced a marriage upon her. Although Dongfang Qingxue strongly opposed the marriage, her grandfather, who had always loved her, didn't back down this time. Dongfang Qingxue could only think of a way to cancel the marriage. Rao Sherman even went to Acropolis City to help her expose Qin Feng's true colors. In the end, Rao Sherman failed and her heart was captured by Qin Feng. Dongfang Qingxue started to slowly accept reality and this engagement. However, what made her angry was that Qin Feng didn't look for her at all. Let alone visit, he didn't even call Dongfang Qingxue. Dongfang Qingxue was hailed as one of the 4 fairies in Kyoto. Her suitors lined up from the South Pole to the North Pole. In the end, Qin Feng didn't care about her at all. This was a huge blow to the proud and cold Dongfang Qingxue. This was the first time in her life that she was given the cold shoulder. Filled with anger and grievance, Dongfang Qingxue didn't want to continue waiting. She appeared at the Soaring Cloud Manor, and tonight, she was going to announce that her fiancé was Qin Feng in front of all the rich young masters in the capital. This way, Qin Feng would instantly gain dozens of powerful enemies. This was the result of ignoring her, Dongfang Qingxue. A hint of hesitation flashed across Dongfang Qingxue's eyes. With a determined expression, she continued, I came here tonight to announce to everyone that my grandfather, Dongfang Mingwang, has already... Before Dongfang Qingxue could finish, a pig-like squeal came from the corner. Everyone's attention was drawn to it. Wuxia endlessly tried to persuade Qin Feng not to be infatuated with Dongfang Qingxue. In a fit of anger, Qin Feng kicked him off his chair. Wuxia's fat body was like a giant meatball. He rolled a few times on the black marble floor before coming to a stop. As soon as he came to a stop, Wuxia stood up. He angrily glared at Qin Feng and yelled, Teacher Qiao Feng, why won't you listen? How many times have I explained to you? Dongfang Qingxue isn't suitable for you. She's the daughter of the Dongfang family. She has a very high status. It's definitely not a good thing for you to be infatuated with her. Wuxia didn't notice the 100 or so pairs of eyes staring at him, trying to persuade Qin Feng with earnest and well-meaning expressions. The hall was very quiet, and Wuxia's voice was very loud and clear. Every word he said fell into everyone's ears. The rich young master's eyes turned red. The rich young mistress's lips curled into a playful smile. The 4 young masters of the capital gritted their teeth and swallowed them into their stomachs. Dongfang Qingxue's expression was ice-cold. She indifferently looked at Qin Feng, who was sitting in the corner. Qin Feng once again became the focus of the night. Everyone was staring at him. Wuxia's back was facing the crowd. He still didn't know what was going on. He was still trying to persuade Qin Feng. Qin Feng's face was as dark as the bottom of a pot. He had the urge to burn Wuxia to death with a fireball. Damn fatty, go and get me a cup of coffee. Lu Shu shouted at Wuxia with an ominous glint in his eyes as he regained his senses. Wuxia's voice stopped abruptly. He was so scared that his fat body started to tremble. He slowly turned around with a head full of cold sweat. When he saw the scene behind him, he almost fainted. Damn fatty, are you deaf? I told you to get me a cup of coffee. Lu Shu shouted again. His voice was even colder than before. Everyone present was a descendant of the rich and powerful families in the capital. Even if they had different social statuses, calling Lu Jie damn fatty in front of everyone and ordering Lu Jie to get him a cup of coffee was a clear insult to Lu Jie. Lu Jie regained his senses. He lowered his head and didn't dare to look at Lu Shu. However, he couldn't help but clench his fists. After a moment of hesitation, Lu Jie walked toward the coffee machine. Damn fatty. Who did you call fatty just now? Were you talking about yourself? Before Lu Jie could reach the coffee machine, Qin Feng suddenly stood up. He looked at Lu Shu with a calm smile on his face. Rumble. The hall immediately burst into an uproar. Everyone looked as if they had been struck by lightning, and cries of alarm rang out. Qin Feng had ignored Gao Tianyao and the other rich young masters and demanded Gao Tianyao to apologize to Lu Jie. Now he stood up and called Lu Shu damn fatty. Did he really have a death wish? Who the hell was he? Being fat was Willow Tree's reverse scale. Even the other three young masters wouldn't easily make fun of Willow Tree about this matter. Few people dared to call Willow Tree fat in front of his face, let alone to call him a damn fatty. But today Willow Tree had been called fat 3 times, twice in the coffee shop, and once in the Soaring Cloud Mansion. Damn it. So it's you. I've been looking for you. Lu Shu recognized Qin Feng immediately. The person who called him fat in the coffee shop was Qin Feng. Lu Shu had been annoyed by Qin Feng for a long time. With a ferocious expression, he swung his fist at Qin Feng. Get lost. Lu Shu was a stage 3 inner chi martial artist. His punch contained more than 100 kilograms of force, and it created a gust of wind. Lu Shu wasn't afraid of Qin Feng because Qin Feng didn't attack him at the coffee shop. In Lu Shu's eyes, Qin Feng was just an ordinary person. Bang! A muffled sound spread out. Lu Shu clutched his fist and retreated 5 steps. He grimaced in pain. A tall and sturdy mountain appeared in front of Qin Feng. Lu Jie was scared out of his wits after defeating Lu Shu with 1 punch. He had offended too many young masters today. He could already imagine being hung upside down on a tree and whipped by the old man for a month when he returned home. Although Lu Jie was a coward, he was forced by the circumstances. Now that the fight was over, Lu Jie's expression changed drastically. He glared at Lu Shu and yelled, "Damn fatty, you're too weak. You're not even a match for me." Lu Jie never called himself young master before because he felt that his life was worse than a poor family's. Today was the first time he called himself young master, and it was in front of Lu Shu, one of the 4 young masters of the capital. Lu Shu was no match for Lu Jie. After a head-on collision, the blood and qi in his body surged. He was so angry that his eyeballs almost popped out of their sockets, but he couldn't open his mouth to curse. He was afraid that he would spit out a mouthful of blood if he opened his mouth. Are you all right, young Master Lu? Damn it. Lu Jie is crazy. How dare he attack young Master Lu? Who the hell is that ordinary-looking man? Lu Jie is such a coward, but he attacks several times for him. He must be a hidden big shot. The entire hall was boiling with excitement because of Lu Jie's punch. Tonight's gathering of the rich and powerful was too exciting. Yang Kan and Sima Xiang came to Lu Shu's side and supported him. Dongfang Haoren was still standing next to his sister. His eyes kept switching between Lu Jie and Qin Feng. Dongfang Qing Shui's starry eyes flashed with a strange light. No one knew what she was thinking. "It's you, damn fatty. I remember you. You were the one who caused trouble at the smithy, right?" Sima Xiang's gaze fell on Lu Jie. His eyes suddenly turned cold. Hearing the words damn fatty, Lu Shu couldn't take it anymore. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Even though he was lying down, he still got shot. Lu Jie also recognized Sima Xiang. When he went to the smithy with Qin Feng in Martial Artist Town, the waiter wanted to kick Lu Jie out because he couldn't afford to buy anything. After that, Qin Feng beat up the waiter, and Sima Xiang came out to fight with Qin Feng. Lu Jie had offended too many people tonight. After recognizing Sima Xiang, Lu Jie's heart trembled again. This is a member of the Sima family. Do you want me to live? I'm sorry, but you must have mistaken me for someone else. I don't even know you, and I've never been to any smithy. Take a good look and see if that damn fatty next to you has offended you, Lu Jie said with a deadpan expression. He had learned these skills of acting stupid and shameless from Qin Feng. Lu Shu spat out a mouthful of blood. When he recovered, he almost spat out another mouthful of blood. After hearing Lu Jie's voice, Sima Xiang was sure that this person was one of the troublemakers. Humph! You damn fatty! How dare you cause trouble at my Sima family's smithy? Now you even injured brother Lu Shu. You're courting death. Sima Xiang dashed toward Lu Jie like an arrow. Lu Jie's expression changed drastically as he felt the aura of death rapidly approaching him. Sima Xiang was still a stage 4 inner chi expert when he was in martial artist town. In just a short month, he had already broken through to stage 5 inner chi. It was obvious that Lu Jie was no match for him. Sima Xiang's expression changed drastically. He was confident that he could cut open Lu Jie's belly, but he didn't expect that he would hit nothing but air. Everyone's gazes fell on Sima Xiang's hands, because there was a pair of short blades flickering with blue light in his hands. The two blades emitted a faint blue light, like mist or air, and it was still flowing slowly. It was very strange and creepy. Teacher Qiao Feng. Lu Jie turned around and looked at Qiao Feng. He was dumbfounded. If Qin Feng hadn't pulled Lu Jie out of the way, Lu Jie would have been cut open. However, Lu Jie had been with Qiao Feng for so long, yet he didn't realize that Qiao Feng's teacher was also a martial artist. Moreover, he was a powerful martial artist. Tisk tsk. If I'm not mistaken, this should be the Sima family's heirloom, the matchless azure wing dagger. What a pity! Qin Feng knew that Lu Jie was no match for Sima Xiang. He waved his hand, and Lu Jie's body uncontrollably retreated behind Qin Feng. Sima Xiang looked at Qin Feng, who was walking toward him with a calm expression. He suddenly became nervous. Qin Feng didn't emit any inner chi, but it gave Sima Xiang a bad premonition. Who are you? Why do you say it's a pity? Sima Xiang didn't dare to attack Qin Feng directly. He wanted to find out more about Qin Feng. What a pity! What's the difference between a piece of trash like you and a piece of scrap metal? Qin Feng said with a faint smile. Chapter 632. Damn fatty? Trash? Scrap metal? Qin Feng's words refreshed the horizons of these rich family disciples. They had never seen someone as arrogant as Qin Feng in their lives. Please search online to see the most complete list. The newest version. For more recent chapters, please visit. Especially since Qin Feng was so arrogant at the age of 20. If he was allowed to continue to develop, China would not be able to contain him. Sima Xiang gnashed his teeth in anger. When had he ever been called trash to his face? Moreover, no one dared to say that the Sima family's family treasure, the peerless azure wing blades, was trash. However, Sima Xiang still didn't make a move. He really couldn't figure out Qin Feng's strength. There was no internal chi fluctuation coming from this man. He looked just like an ordinary person, but how could he help Lu Jie dodge that lightning strike so easily? Why was he so calm and collected? Sima Xiang did not recognize Qiao Feng. He had no enmity with Qiao Feng, so he was not completely enraged by Qiao Feng. Everyone here was a rich family disciple. Why didn't the others stand out to confront Qin Feng? Lu Shu was called a dead fat pig, so why didn't he come out to teach Qin Feng a lesson? Everyone was not stupid and had their own concerns. Sima Xiang was one of them, so he naturally did not want to be the first to stand out. Qiao Feng, right? Who are you? Why are you here? Yang Kan stood out and glared at Qin Feng. After Yang Kan found out that the normal-looking man in front of him was Qiao Feng, his heart was filled with anger. Today at the coffee shop, it was this brat who stepped on him. Are you an idiot? Since you call me Qiao Feng, then I am naturally Qiao Feng. As for why I'm here, of course I'm here to act cool and pick up girls just like you guys. Qin Feng looked at Yang Kan with disdain. He opened his mouth and made Yang Kan's chest heave up and down. He almost choked to death. Everyone was shocked. Up until now, Qin Feng had already cursed the third of the 4 young masters of the capital. As for Dongfang Haoren, he had not been cursed because he had not spoken to Qin Feng. Everyone believed that if Dongfang Haoren looked for trouble with Qiao Feng would definitely scold him. Once again, a strong curiosity arose in everyone's hearts. Who exactly was this Qiao Feng? The empty hall fell into a deathly silence. None of the 4 young masters of the capital spoke a word. The third young master fiercely glared at Qin Feng. He looked like he wanted to eat Qin Feng alive. The young masters and heiresses kept their mouths shut. Even the capital's 4 young masters didn't do anything, so how could they dare to blindly interfere? The atmosphere that had been silent for a long time was broken by the willow tree. He seemed to have recovered, and his pale face regained some color. "Brat, do you dare to have a match with me?" Qin Feng looked at the willow tree playfully. "How do you want to compete?" "Let's compete in boxing." As soon as the willow tree finished speaking, Yang Can and Sima Xiang looked at him in surprise. Both of them felt that Qin Feng was a little strange, so they didn't dare to attack him. They were waiting for the people from the Soaring Cloud Mansion to show up. However, after waiting for a long time, Uncle Hu and the internal security guards didn't move at all. It was as if they couldn't see the farce here. Now that the willow tree suddenly proposed this kind of match, Yang Can and Sima Xiang were a little worried. "Are you sure you want to compete like this?" Qin Feng was also a little surprised. Although he was wearing the sacred azure battle armor that suppressed his inner qi, he looked like an ordinary person from the outside. However, in order to save Lu Jie, Qin Feng showed some of his skills. Even Sima Xiang and Yang can notice some clues, so how could the willow tree not see it? Of course. "Do you dare to accept the challenge or not?" The willow tree asked arrogantly. Of course. Seeing that Qin Feng agreed, the willow tree had a sneaky smile on his face. He said coldly, "Very well, then stand there and don't move. I'll punch you first." Looking at the willow tree who had already swung his fist at him, Qin Feng finally understood the willow tree's intentions. Obviously, the willow tree suspected that Qin Feng was an ordinary person, but he was not sure. Therefore, the willow tree used the duel as an excuse, but in reality he wanted to punch Qin Feng with all his strength. If Qin Feng was an ordinary person, the willow tree could cripple him with one punch to vent his anger. If Qin Feng was not an ordinary person, the willow tree would run away after punching Qin Feng, or call the security guards of the Soaring Cloud Mansion to save him. The willow tree didn't believe that the security guards would ignore him if he called the security guards. The willow tree moved quickly. Before the others could react, his huge body had already arrived in front of Qin Feng. His fist that was as big as a sandbag fell rapidly and hit Qin Feng's chest. Bang! A muffled sound like an explosion came from Qin Feng's chest. He was hit. Yang Can and Sima Xiang were stunned. Dongfang Haoran and Dongfang Qing Shui also had a trace of doubt in their eyes. Lu Jie, seeing teacher Qiao Feng being beaten, was so angry that he looked like he wanted to kill Lu Shu. However, Lu Jie felt a surge of energy explosively shoot out from behind teacher Qiao Feng. This surge of energy trapped Lu Jie's body, causing him to be unable to move for a few seconds at the critical moment. Roar! Everyone was disappointed when they saw the willow tree's punch. So this Qiao Feng was just acting tough? He couldn't even dodge the willow tree's punch, so he was not as powerful as Lu Jie. But soon the others didn't think so. Qin Feng didn't move an inch when Lu Shu's punch landed on him, but the willow tree's fist made a crisp sound as if a bone was broken. Then the whole hall reverberated with the willow tree's scream. It hurts so much. You're fucking cheating. What are you hiding in your chest? It's too fucking hard." Lu Shu screamed as he glared angrily at Qin Feng. When his fist landed on Qin Feng's chest, it felt as if he had punched a hard marble. Lu Shu wouldn't believe that Qin Feng didn't have anything hidden in his chest. "Really? I didn't hide anything in my chest." Qin Feng chuckled and suddenly took off his black suit, revealing a white shirt that was as white as snow. Under the reflection of the light, one could vaguely see Qin Feng's bulging pectoral muscles. Apart from that, there was nothing else. "Look carefully, there's nothing there. You are one of the 4 young masters of the provincial capital, so you can't slander me." Qin Feng took a punch from Lu Shu, but he acted as if nothing had happened. He had a leisurely expression on his face to prove himself to everyone. Lu Shu was dumbfounded. Qin Feng didn't have anything in his chest. How was that possible? Was his chest that hard? Were those pectoral muscles or rock muscles? Qin Feng was tall, straight, and had a perfect body. Many rich young ladies couldn't take their eyes off Qin Feng's chest muscles. Qin Feng's appearance was too ordinary, so he didn't attract the attention of the rich young ladies. But now, he had suddenly become a hot commodity. This man must be fierce. After staring at Qin Feng's chest muscles for a while, everyone came to their senses. Their faces were full of fear. How is that possible? He took a punch from young Master Lu and he's fine? I heard that young Master Lu is a stage 3 inner chi martial artist. That punch should be over 100 pounds. Don't tell me this guy's body was modified? Could it be that young Master Lu purposely went easy on him? But it doesn't make sense at this time. Hearing the discussions around him, Lu Shu's face turned ashen. Qin Feng, however, didn't seem to hear them. His eyes flashed with a hint of a smile. He looked at Lu Shu and said, "Young Master Lu, I really like this game of yours. You just punched me, so now it's my turn to punch you." The smile in Qin Feng's eyes fell into Lu Shu's eyes. It was like the evil smile of a demon from hell. Lu Shu seemed to realize something, so he turned around and ran. As he ran, he yelled, "Security, save me, save me. I'm the young master of the Lu family. If something happens to me, Soaring Cloud Manor won't have a good time either." The willow tree howled like a madman. It could be seen that he was truly frightened by Qin Feng. Although Lu Shu wasn't a master, he was still a stage 3 inner chi martial artist. Qin Feng didn't move an inch when he punched him. It was as if nothing had happened. Lu Shu had only seen a few people with this kind of strength. Whoosh! A gust of wind came and a black shadow flashed. The place where Qin Feng was standing was now empty. In the blink of an eye, Qin Feng's fist had already landed in front of Lu Shu's eyes. "Ah, don't hit me." A cold breath of death wrapped around Lu Shu. Lu Shu didn't have the ability to dodge. He instinctively began to beg Qin Feng for mercy. He didn't have any of the confidence and calmness that one of the 4 young masters of the capital should have. Too late. Qin Feng didn't care about Lu Shu at all. The strength of his fist suddenly increased, and its speed also increased. Even though Lu Shu tried his best to dodge, he found that Qin Feng's fist seemed to have eyes. It followed closely behind him and was getting closer and closer. Stop! Just as Qin Feng's fist was about to hit the willow tree, a black shadow suddenly flew down from the 3rd floor. The shadow's aura was like that of a ferocious tiger. His loud and clear voice reverberated throughout the entire hall. The sound of wind breaking could be heard in the air. The shadow had actually arrived behind Qin Feng. Bang! Qin Feng's fist smashed into Lu Shu's chest, and his fist met Uncle Hu's huge fist. A strong force directly shook Qin Feng and sent him flying. If Qin Feng didn't quickly use his inner chi to protect his internal organs would have been shattered. Lu Shu's body also flew out. He directly hit the marble wall and fainted. Uncle Hu retreated 3 steps. His eyes shone brightly as he looked at Qin Feng, who fell on the ground in surprise. Uncle Hu didn't chase after Qin Feng. Instead, he coldly stood where he was. His black eyes, which were mostly covered by his eyelids, flashed with a cold light. "Who are you? Who's the person behind you?" Qin Feng took out 2 healing pills from the system and swallowed them when no one was paying attention. After he used his inner chi, the medicine's effect quickly came into play. Qin Feng's injuries were already mostly healed. Qin Feng slowly stood up and met Uncle Hu's cold and majestic black eyes. There was no fear on his face. "I'm Qiao Feng. The person behind me is a big-breasted girl, but I don't know her. If you want to hit on her, you can ask for her number," Qin Feng said seriously. Uncle Hu was obviously stunned. For a moment he couldn't keep up with Qin Feng's stupidity. Uncle Hu asked Qin Feng who was behind him, and why he was so arrogant and dared to make trouble in the Soaring Cloud Mansion. However, Qin Feng's answer directly broke Uncle Hu's inner chi. A few seconds later, the whole hall was in an uproar again. The rich young masters and young ladies also realized that Qiao Feng was really something. He even dared to make fun of Uncle Hu. Lu Jie's mouth twitched violently. He had offended Gao Tianyao, Lu Shu and Sima Xiang tonight, but it didn't matter anymore. After all, these people couldn't do anything to him. If worst came to worst, he could just run to Africa and live a beggar life. However, Teacher Qiao Feng had offended Uncle Hu. Uncle Hu could kill a small fry like Lu Jie with one slap. Lu Jie was so scared that he hesitated. Should he jump out and tell Uncle Hu about his relationship with Teacher Qiao Feng? Actually, I don't even know this big idiot. Chapter 633. Lu Jia, you should leave. Qin Feng's voice suddenly sounded. Lu Jia was grumbling about Teacher Chao Feng's love for stirring up trouble. But when he heard Teacher Chao Feng's words, he felt as if something deep in his heart had been poked. He even felt a deep sense of guilt for what he had just said. If he could meet a brother like Teacher Chao Feng, who would go through fire and water with him, what was there to be afraid of even if they were to die together in the soaring cloud mansion? Whoosh! Lu Jia leaped into the air and landed beside Qin Feng. Qin Feng felt the ground beneath his feet tremble slightly. Teacher Chao Feng, I'm not leaving. If I want to leave, let's leave together. Lu Jia clenched his fists and his eyes turned red. He felt like he was back when Boss Qin was still around. So what if he had to face Uncle Hu whom he couldn't defeat? I've eaten more meat than you've eaten. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Qin Feng was slightly stunned when he saw that Lu Jia was ready to go to the battlefield, but he quickly reacted. Without even looking at Lu Jia, Qin Feng said calmly, don't misunderstand. I'm letting you go because I don't want you to drag me down when we fight. It'll be very heavy if I want to run away with you. Qin Feng spoke the truth. Before Lu Jia even started fighting, he felt like his heart was stabbed in the back by his teammates. How dare you cause trouble in the soaring cloud mansion? Do you think you can leave? Uncle Hu was furious when he saw Qin Feng and Lu Jia's antics. Ever since the opening of the soaring cloud mansion, no one had ever dared to cause trouble or beat up people in the mansion while Uncle Hu was in charge of guarding the mansion. Qin Feng was obviously the first. Rumble! Uncle Hu's body flashed, and the sound of wind breaking echoed in the air. In the eyes of the crowd, Uncle Hu's body had already turned into a series of afterimages. It was impossible to tell which one was real. Move aside. Qin Feng's calm expression suddenly changed, and he sent Lu Jia flying with a palm strike. Then he punched Uncle Hu. Bang! Last time, Qin Feng dealt with the willow tree while exchanging punches with Uncle Hu. This time, the two of them used all their strength and collided head-on. The loud sound of the collision was as deep as thunder, and it pressed down on everyone's hearts, making it hard for them to breathe. After both fists landed, Uncle Hu quickly retreated with profound footwork. Qin Feng's slender body soared into the air, and he did a beautiful somersault before landing on the ground. Puff! As soon as he landed, he couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. Uncle Hu's face also turned pale. He pressed one hand on his chest, probably to suppress the surging blood qi. Teacher Chao Feng, are you alright? Lu Jia ran towards Qin Feng worriedly. Qin Feng waved his hand and yelled, don't come over. Just stand aside and watch. Lu Jia stopped in his tracks. He knew that he was not qualified to compete with Chao Feng. He was afraid that he would become a burden to Teacher Chao Feng. Qin Feng raised his hand and placed 2 healing pills into his mouth. This action was as if he was smoothing out his own hair. It was natural and quick, and no one noticed that Qin Feng had eaten the 2 pills. Perhaps only Qin Feng would eat level 1 healing pills like they were sweets. As the healing pills' effects spread, Qin Feng's chaotic qi and blood quickly stabilized. Qin Feng slowly stood up again. His face was rosy and glowing, as if nothing had happened. Voila! Cries of surprise rang out from all around. Everyone was shocked by Qin Feng's powerful battle prowess and recovery ability. Was this person an unkillable cockroach? Amazing! He's too amazing. When did such a powerful person appear in the capital? He looks about the same age as us. How could he withstand Uncle Hu's punch? He's at least a stage 6 inner chi expert, right? A stage 6 inner chi expert at such a young age. Is the capital going to change? Even if everyone was afraid of Uncle Hu and knew that he would be angry if he heard their discussions, they couldn't suppress the emotions and fanaticism in their hearts when they saw Qin Feng appear out of nowhere. They were about to boil with excitement. Haoran, who is that person? Dongfang Qing eyelashes fluttered as her gaze fell on Qin Feng. Dongfang Haoran was also at a loss. He blankly shook his head and said, I don't know. It's my first time seeing him. Maybe he's not from the capital. Hearing her brother's answer, Dongfang Qing's beautiful eyes that were as bright as the stars flickered. She pondered and no one knew what she was thinking. I'll ask you one last time. Who are you? What sect do you belong to? If you tell me, I might be able to recognize your sect. I might even spare your life. If you dare to behave atrociously again, I will definitely not spare you. Everyone's discussion made Uncle Hu extremely angry. His dignified face turned fiery red from holding back his anger. Uncle Hu's knowledge was vast. He saw that Qin Feng was so powerful at such a young age. It was very likely that he was a disciple of an outer sect. If Qin Feng was from China's 3 sects or 5 sects, then Uncle Hu really couldn't do anything to Qin Feng. Ah, what's wrong? Don't tell me you're scared? Don't you dislike me? Just fight me. What's with all this nonsense? I don't belong to any sect. I don't change my name. I'm Qiao Feng. After exchanging punches with Uncle Hu, Qin Feng already knew Uncle Hu's strength. It was no wonder that Qin Feng couldn't see through Uncle Hu's strength. It was because Uncle Hu didn't cultivate inner qi, but an external fist technique. Uncle Hu was a stage 7 external expert. Qin Feng's external technique had reached stage 5. If he used it with a special rank Thunder Tiger fists, Qin Feng could explode with 9 times the strength of a normal person. That was equivalent to a stage 8 external expert. It was possible for him to fight with Uncle Hu. However, Qin Feng didn't dare to casually use techniques and spiritual weapons. That would easily expose his identity. Thus, Qin Feng could only use inner qi to fight with Uncle Hu's inner qi. However, Qin Feng's inner qi was no match for Uncle Hu's stage 7 external expert. Luckily, Qin Feng wore the sacred azure battle armor and was stuck at the bottleneck of breaking through. This gave Qin Feng the confidence to fight. He wanted to break through during the fight and defeat Uncle Hu. Arrogant brat, take this. Uncle Hu was enraged by Qin Feng's words. He gathered his inner qi and attacked Qin Feng with a mysterious footwork. Uncle Hu's speed had obviously doubled, and his aura was like a rolling thundercloud. Qin Feng didn't activate the sacred azure battle armor's hypersensory, so he felt like his eyes weren't enough to see everything. Bang! In the blink of an eye, Uncle Hu was in front of Qin Feng. Qin Feng didn't have time to think. He punched out. Just as his fist was about to land on Uncle Hu's body, Qin Feng's expression changed. He had hit an afterimage. Qin Feng's fist missed, but he felt a strong wind behind him. He didn't have time to dodge and his body was sent flying. After falling to the ground, Qin Feng took out 2 healing pills from the system. He also took out 2 mind-cleansing pills and threw them into his mouth. After a while, Qin Feng stood up again. Humph! You stinking brat, you can't even withstand a single blow. With that little ability of yours, how dare you? Uncle Hu had a look of disdain on his face when he saw Qin Feng being sent flying by his fist. However, before he could finish his arrogant words, he saw Qin Feng slowly stand up. Qin Feng's face was rosy and glowing, as if nothing had happened. How can this be? Why can't you hit me? Uncle Hu frowned and looked surprised. His eyes were covered by half of his eyelids, and there was a trace of worry in them. He felt that the young man in front of him was a terrifying existence. Qin Feng stood with his back bent. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth with his right hand and looked at Uncle Hu with an innocent smile. You said I'm weak? Then why can't you defeat me? Aren't you even more trash? Trash? This guy dared to call Uncle Hu trash in the Soaring Cloud Mansion? The whole hall quieted down. Only people's frantic heartbeats and rapid breathing could be heard. Uncle Hu's expression instantly darkened. He was so angry that he gritted his teeth. He didn't waste any more time talking to Qin Feng. He used the mysterious footwork again. Uncle Hu's body turned into a blur, making it hard for people to see him clearly. Qin Feng had already activated hypersensory. Facing Uncle Hu, who was attacking like a wild beast, Qin Feng stood still with his hands behind his back. The blur slowed down in Qin Feng's eyes. He could see Uncle Hu's position, and he could see every step and movement of his mysterious footwork. Qin Feng had to admit that Uncle Hu's footwork was very profound. With this footwork, even if he met an opponent of a higher realm, he would be able to escape easily. Brat, let's see if you can take my punch or not. After a few breaths of time, Uncle Hu arrived in front of Qin Feng. His fists were filled with a fierce and cold wind, mixed with a powerful force. Qin Feng didn't move. He stared at Uncle Hu's fists. Qin Feng realized that not only Uncle Hu's footwork was mysterious, But his fists were also full of changes. It was hard to see the trajectory of his fists. If Qin Feng didn't activate hypersensory, he wouldn't be able to see where Uncle Hu's fists were going to land. Mystifying fist. Roar. Uncle Hu roared. His aura increased rapidly. His fist was aimed at Qin Feng's stomach. However, Qin Feng didn't move his lower body. Instead, he quickly tilted his head. Whoosh! The huge fist that was going to land on Qin Feng's stomach suddenly changed direction. It was aimed at Qin Feng's head. However, there was only a sharp sound when the fist landed. Uncle Hu's fist missed. Hey, your fists are not that great. Look at mine. Qin Feng sneered. He moved as fast as lightning and punched Uncle Hu's stomach. Bang! Uncle Hu hadn't recovered from the shock. He quickly retreated. After retreating more than 10 steps, Uncle Hu finally stopped. The marble floor he had stepped on was now covered with fine cracks. Cough cough. Qin Feng was now a stage 6 inner chi expert. His full strength punch was not to be underestimated. Uncle Hu coughed violently, but that was all. Qin Feng and Uncle Hu's eyes met in the air. The temperature seemed to drop by a few degrees. Both of them were shocked. Uncle Hu didn't expect Qin Feng to break through his mystifying fist and mystifying steps. Qin Feng didn't think that his punch with all his strength didn't even cause Uncle Hu's internal injuries. Uncle Hu didn't even spit out blood. His physical body was too strong. Was this the great advantage of practicing external techniques? After Qin Feng got the system, he first entered the path of martial arts through external fist techniques. Therefore, Qin Feng had a good understanding of external cultivation. External cultivators needed to constantly train their bodies, allowing their bodies to break through their limits and achieve breakthroughs in realms. This kind of body training method was extremely cruel and torturous. Without a strong will, very few people could achieve great results in external cultivation. Qin Feng felt that external cultivation was too time-consuming and harmful to his body. Therefore, he put all his effort into breaking through the internal realm. However, after Qin Feng met a few experts in external cultivation, he became interested in external cultivation again. The Shaolin Temple's Yuan Zhan and Yuan Qing's ultimate killer move, Invincible Golden Body, was a powerful form of external cultivation. Uncle Fu and Qi Wanjun were part of China's 5 tigers. They were all stage 9 external experts. Even Qin Feng, who had used the People Killing Book to increase his stage 9 inner qi, was no match for Qi Wanjun. At this moment, Uncle Hu was only a stage 7 inner qi expert, but his body's defense was already so strong. Qin Feng believed that with his current realm, he could easily kill a stage 7 inner qi expert. However, facing Uncle Hu, who was a stage 7 external expert, Qin Feng didn't know where to start. Chapter 634. You can see the flaws in my disorienting steps and disorienting fist? Are you from Shaolin? After the two stared at each other for a long time, Uncle Hu spoke first. His voice trembled slightly. I already said I'm not from any sect. Do you not understand human language? Qin Feng smiled faintly and continued to provoke Uncle Hu. Qin Feng was prepared to use Uncle Hu to break through. Qin Feng would not let go of such a ready-made sparring partner. I don't believe that I can't even take care of a little brat like you. Uncle Hu was infuriated by Qin Feng. At this time he was very calm. He used disorienting steps again and flew towards Qin Feng. In everyone's eyes, Uncle Hu started to transform again. His body was erratic and illusory. However, in Qin Feng's eyes, Uncle Hu's every move was incomparably clear and could not escape Qin Feng's eyes. Bang! Uncle Hu's ferocious punch hit empty air. Roar! Uncle Hu's punch missed, so he quickly followed up with a kick, but it hit empty air again. Flames shot out of Uncle Hu's eyes, and his entire face became ferocious. His fists kept alternating and changing unpredictably. The wind howled in the air, and it was as if there was a gale blowing all around him. However, no matter how Uncle Hu attacked, he couldn't even touch a hair on Qin Feng's body. Qin Feng only dodged and did not attack. Otherwise, Uncle Hu would have been sent flying. Anyway, Uncle Hu had thick skin and flesh. Even if Qin Feng sent him flying, Uncle Hu would be fine. Qin Feng might as well conserve his strength. As he dodged, He observed Uncle Hu's mysterious disorienting steps and disorienting fist. Slowly, Qin Feng found the key points of these two techniques and began to absorb them for his own use. Ah! Stinking brat, why the hell are you only dodging and not attacking? Are you looking down on me? I'll make you regret this. Uncle Hu started to go crazy towards the end. He was an external stage 7 expert. When had he ever met an enemy who insulted him like this? Uncle Hu's footsteps were messed up, and his fist techniques were messed up. He was like a mad lion chasing after Qin Feng and beating him up. Qin Feng shook his head. This time, he couldn't continue to study the shadow step and shadow fists. Luckily, Qin Feng had observed for a long time and had more or less learned them. Eat this elder's palm. Seeing that it was about time, Qin Feng quickly struck out with his palm, wanting to send Uncle Hu flying. However, as soon as he struck out, he clearly slowed down. Qin Feng's mouth twitched. It turned out that the time limit of the Sacred Azure Battle Armor's hyper-intuition was up, and Qin Feng returned to his original state. Uncle Hu felt a chill run through his body. He felt like he was going to be sent flying in the next second. However, very quickly, a strange light flashed through Uncle Hu's eyes. Seeing Qin Feng suddenly slow down, Uncle Hu did not hesitate and threw a punch. Bang! Qin Feng, who had just spoken, was sent flying. This time he crashed into the marble wall and cracked a large piece of marble. Uncle Hu wasn't happy that Qin Feng was sent flying. Instead, he looked at his own fist blankly. Then he looked at Qin Feng, who was on the ground. He couldn't understand Qin Feng. What the hell was this brat doing? I'm going to faint. Why did Xiao Feng fly? Didn't he just say those harsh words? Haven't you heard that a competition is a sacrifice? The more arrogant you are, the faster you will die. Why do I feel that something is wrong? Xiao Feng was just teasing Uncle Hu. Why was he sent flying? Everyone felt that something was wrong, but they couldn't figure out the reason. Lu Jie had forgotten how many times Teacher Xiao Feng had been sent flying. The main thing was that Teacher Xiao Feng didn't stand up after being sent flying. Instead, he sat on the ground motionlessly. Teacher Xiao Feng, are you okay? Lu Jie was worried. He quickly ran to Qin Feng's side to check on his injuries. Qin Feng ignored Lu Jie. He didn't get up because the inner qi in his dantian had reached a state of saturation. Qin Feng felt that he was about to break through. Teacher Xiao Feng, say something. Say something. Don't scare me. You can't die. You can't die. Seeing that Qin Feng didn't say anything, Lu Jie's face turned pale. He grabbed Qin Feng's body and shook him until he was dizzy. Bang! Suddenly, a muffled sound came from Qin Feng's body. It scared Lu Jie so much that he jumped up. Oh my god! Teacher Xiao Feng, you were preparing to fart. Your fart is really loud. It's like thunder. Qin Feng had only heard of snoring that sounded like thunder. This was the first time he heard someone describe a fart as thunder. Moreover, Qin Feng didn't fart. He was cultivating both internal and external cultivation. He had broken through at the same time and reached stage 6 external and stage 7 inner qi. Shut up, you damn fatty. Qin Feng was infuriated by Lu Jie. He wanted nothing more than to slap this ADHD fatty until he passed out. Lu Jie also realized that he had said something wrong. His expression changed. He looked at everyone seriously and yelled, "Pft, pft, pft. I was wrong. Please pretend that you didn't hear anything. It was thunder just now, not Teacher Xiao Feng's fart." The corner of Qin Feng's mouth twitched. A small flame appeared in his palm. If he raised his hand slightly, Lu Jie would turn into ashes in the next second. Even Uncle Hu was angered by Lu Jie's silly behavior. He usually killed people in his battles, so he was very serious and cold. What was the difference between this scene and a circus? Get out of here! Qin Feng roared at Lu Jie. Lu Jie was so frightened that he hastily retreated to the side. He grumbled incessantly. You're the one who farted, not me. Why are you so fierce? Qin Feng pretended that he didn't hear Lu Jie's complaints. He faced Uncle Hu's cold and angry expression and said with a smile, I've played with you for so long. Now let me defeat you with one palm. Arrogant. What an arrogant kid. I want to see how you're going to defeat me with one palm. Uncle Hu couldn't understand why Qin Feng couldn't defeat him. Couldn't this person be injured? Full of doubts, Uncle Hu attacked again. He used the mace punch to its limit and aimed at Qin Feng's head. You've used this move too many times. I've learned it all. Qin Feng smiled coldly. He suddenly took a step to the side and easily avoided Uncle Hu's attack. At the same time he kicked Uncle Hu. Qin Feng's speed doubled. Under Uncle Hu's astonished gaze, Qin Feng's feet had already landed. Rumble. Qin Feng's kick contained the strength of a stage 7 inner qi cultivator. The surging inner qi under Qin Feng's foot was many times stronger than a stage 6 inner qi cultivator. Uncle Hu, who had been unbeatable all this time, was sent flying. His huge body smashed into the wall and sunk into the marble bricks. He hung on the wall just like that. Cough cough. Many rich young masters in the crowd coughed in fear. Uncle Hu was Soaring Cloud Mansion's #1 disciple. How could he be pinned to the wall by Qiao Feng's kick? This was beyond everyone's imagination. The rich young masters and daughters were stunned. They saw a pretentious Superman rising. The 3 young masters of the provincial capital were dumbfounded. They regretted offending Qiao Feng. Dongfang Qingxue and Dongfang Haoren were shocked. Who was this ordinary-looking person? Cough cough cough. Uncle Hu, who was stuck in the wall, coughed violently. He had fought with Qin Feng for most of the night. Finally, Qin Feng beat him until he vomited blood. Uncle Hu's eyes bulged when he saw the fresh blood dripping on the floor. He looked like he wanted to skin Qin Feng alive. Head Hu, how are your injuries? An unfamiliar voice suddenly came from the hall. It was deep and hoarse as if it could pierce through space. Everyone looked around curiously, but they couldn't see the person who spoke. Uncle Hu, whose body was stuck in the wall, changed his expression. His fierce and ruthless expression immediately disappeared. He said respectfully, Master Long, I'm fine. I just need to rest for half a month and I'll be completely healed. Very good. Very good. Master Long's voice echoed in the hall. No one could tell whether he was happy, angry, sad, or happy. However, no one had seen Master Long. Even Qin Feng couldn't tell where the voice came from. Master Long? Those who came back to their senses all gasped. Who hadn't heard of this name? But who had seen Master Long? Some people even suspected that the Soaring Cloud Mansion's Master Long didn't exist. They thought he was just a figure created by the boss behind the scenes of this club to deter the rich and nobles who came to spend money, so that there wouldn't be any trouble in the club. However, Master Long was here. They only heard his voice but didn't see him. You're Qiao Feng, right? The penetrating voice sounded again. This time the crowd suddenly burst into an uproar. Everyone looked toward the center of the hall. Master Long was standing in the crowd. The rich young masters and daughters standing next to Master Long were so scared that their faces turned pale. They had been standing in the hall for so long, but they didn't notice that the mysterious Master Long of the Soaring Cloud Mansion was standing next to them. This feeling was like suddenly seeing a ghost in the middle of the night. It was really hard to accept. The crowd quickly divided into 2 rows, each standing on one side, and made a path between Qin Feng and Master Long. On the other side of the path, an old man in his 60s stood with his hands behind his back. His white hair was neatly combed behind his head. The old man was tall and slender. He didn't look like an old man at all. He was more energetic than a young man. His deep black eyes flickered with a strange light. It was as if he couldn't see anyone else. He just stared at Qin Feng. Master Long had already asked the question, but Qin Feng didn't come to his senses even after several seconds. When Qin Feng found Lord Long opposite him, he immediately felt the fluctuation of internal qi in Lord Long's body. Lord Long's body was like an old well, a pool of stagnant water. There was no fluctuation of breath, but it gave Qin Feng a strong sense of crisis. Qin Feng still couldn't figure out Master Long's strength, but he was sure that Master Long was more powerful than Uncle Fu and Qi Wanjun, the most powerful people he had seen so far. It seems that you're deaf. Chief Long's voice rang out. There was not the slightest emotion in it. It did not sound like he was mocking or angry. It was as if he was stating a fact. Qin Feng still didn't speak. It was the first time he had seen such a powerful opponent like Master Long. For a moment he didn't know what to do. Not to mention that Qin Feng couldn't use spiritual weapons and cultivation methods in order to hide his identity, Qin Feng felt that he was no match for Master Long even if there was no one around. Qin Feng, who had been wild and unruly all night, suddenly fell silent. Everyone was shocked. They thought Xiao Feng was admitting defeat, but no one looked down on Xiao Feng because no one thought that the mysterious Master Long of the Soaring Cloud Mansion would suddenly appear. Everyone even thought that Xiao Feng had forced Master Long to come out. This man was really heaven-defying. Xiao Feng's name would definitely spread throughout the capital city's upper class tonight. I'm not deaf. I just think your question is a little boring, so I'm too lazy to answer. Qin Feng suddenly said. His words caused a stir. Now that things had come to this, Qin Feng had already thought it through. If Master Long attacked, he would escape immediately. If he couldn't escape, he would release Shimen Chueshua. Even if his identity was exposed, Qin Feng couldn't care less. After all, his life was the most important thing. Chapter 635. Interesting. A hint of coldness flashed across Chief Long's expressionless face. His body flashed and he suddenly disappeared from everyone's sight. Chief Long, where did Chief Long go? Uncle Hu? Uncle Hu disappeared as well. Fudge, Chief Long already saved Uncle Hu? He was that fast? The instant Chief Long disappeared, the entire hall was filled with an oppressive aura. Even Qin Feng couldn't see Chief Long's figure. The instant Chief Long disappeared, Qin Feng couldn't see him anymore. On the other side of the passageway, Chief Long stood with his hands behind his back. What was different was that there was an extra person next to him. It was Uncle Hu, who had been kicked into the wall by Qin Feng. No one thought that Uncle Hu jumped down on his own. Then Uncle Hu was saved by Master Long. However, from Master Long's disappearance to his reappearance, it was only a few breaths of time, or even shorter. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they wouldn't have believed it even if they were beaten to death. Listening to the whispers of the people behind him, Master Long's expression was calm. It was as if nothing had happened. He placed his palm on Uncle Hu's back. A moment later, Uncle Hu's pale face turned rosy again. Thank you, Chief Long. Chief Long withdrew his hand and Uncle Hu cupped his hands and bowed in thanks. Chief Long didn't look at Uncle Hu, and his gaze remained on Qin Feng. Since you're too lazy to answer my questions, you don't need to speak in the future. After saving Uncle Hu, Chief Long once again spoke. His voice was very calm, but it sounded like thunder in everyone's hearts. Don't need to speak in the future? Lord Long had the intention to kill Xiao Feng. All of Qin Feng's hair stood on end. At this moment he felt an unprecedented sense of nervousness and an icy aura of death. Qin Feng's consciousness had already entered the Hedonist sovereign system, ready to summon Shimen Chueshua at any moment. However, at this moment, a melodious voice sounded out. Dongfang Qing Shui greets Chief Long. Dongfang Qing Shui, who was standing at the door, suddenly walked over with small steps like a fairy. When she walked through the crowd, everyone's gazes fell on Dongfang Qing Shui. When Dongfang Haoren came back to his senses, he found that his sister had already walked far away. Dongfang Haoren looked anxious. He couldn't understand why his sister had come out at this time. When Qin Feng felt the aura of death suddenly disappear, a benevolent smile appeared on Chief Long's expressionless face. He looked at Dongfang Qing Shui and said, "Haha, so you're the precious granddaughter of that old fellow Wisdom King. Why have you come to such a gathering of the rich?" Chief Long obviously knew Dongfang Qing Shui, and he also knew Dongfang Qing Shui's grandfather. When Chief Long called Dongfang Mingwang an old man, the corners of everyone's mouths twitched. They were getting more and more curious about Chief Long's background. "Master Long, you haven't been to my humble abode for a long time. Grandfather still talks about you from time to time." Dongfang Qing Shui had a slight smile on her face, and two shallow dimples appeared on her cheeks. It was like the spring breeze after the rain, giving people a refreshing feeling. Lord Long's smile widened and he shouted at the top of his lungs, "Little Qing Shui, don't lie to me. Do you think that old King Ming will miss me? I definitely don't believe that. Master Long is an old friend of my grandfather. Of course my grandfather would talk about you. This matter cannot be fake." Dongfang Qing Shui was not nervous in front of Chief Long. Her calm demeanor and words made everyone deeply admire her. Chief Long faced the sky and laughed. Halfway through his laughter, his expression suddenly changed. He expressionlessly looked at Dongfang Qingxue. Little Qingxue, your Grandpa Long still has some private matters to take care of today. You can play as you please here. When I have time, I will go find that old fellow King Ming to exchange pointers. Chief Long didn't know why Dongfang Qingxue suddenly stood out, but he clearly didn't have any patience and didn't want to continue talking with Dongfang Qingxue. Dongfang Qingxue's expression didn't change, and her shallow dimples still hung on her cheeks. She smiled and said, Chief Long, Qingxue has a request. Speak. Please spare Qiao Feng this once. Rumble. Dongfang Qingxue's words were like a bolt of lightning that struck everyone's heads. Even Chief Long had a face of shock and confusion as he looked at Dongfang Qingxue. The capital's 3 young masters were dumbfounded. Wuxia had dementia. Dongfang Haoran's mouth was wide open, but he couldn't say anything. Even Qin Feng was puzzled. His current appearance was so ordinary. Could it be that Dongfang Qingxue was attracted by his talent? Yes, that must be the case. Ha ha ha. Chief Long suddenly faced the sky and laughed. Halfway through his laughter, his voice turned cold. Little girl Qingxue, I'm old. Is there something wrong with my ears? You want me to spare that brat this once? Chief Long acted as if he had heard the funniest joke in the world. Everyone's faces were filled with disbelief, but Dongfang Qingxue didn't seem to notice. She calmly said, Chief Long's ears are sharp and your martial arts are profound. How can you be old? The smile on Chief Long's face disappeared. He looked seriously at Dongfang Qingxue. He couldn't figure out why Dongfang Qingxue stood out to ask for leniency for Qiao Feng. This girl was extremely intelligent and always made it hard for the older generation to understand her. What if I say no? Chief Long said. Does Chief Long really want to do this? Dongfang Qingxue asked back. A cold light flashed in the depths of Chief Long's eyes that were half covered by his eyelids. Who dared to say anything that he had decided on? If it wasn't for Dongfang Qingxue's grandfather, Chief Long wouldn't have wasted so much time talking to her. Seeing that Chief Long didn't reply, Dongfang Qingxue continued, as the purple dragon of China's 9 dragons, Chief Long is a role model for us juniors to learn from. Especially for those who practice ancient martial arts, they revere Chief Long even more. I believe that Chief Long, as a senior, also cherishes and cares for juniors. Naturally, you won't make a move on them. Dongfang Qingxue's voice was ethereal and had a hint of sweetness to it. Chief Long's expression changed again and again. There was even a sinister look on his face. He didn't expect that Dongfang Qingxue would expose his identity. China's purple dragon? Oh my god, Chief Long is actually the purple dragon of China's 9 dragons? No wonder no one has dared to cause trouble in Soaring Cloud Manor even though it has been established for so long. With Chief Long's support, whoever dares to cause trouble must be tired of living. I can't. Too many things have happened tonight. My brain can't hold them all. The crowd was in an uproar again. It was even more intense than the previous few times. China's 9 dragons and 5 tigers were peak existences in the secular world. They guarded the 4 corners of the world, suppressing the large powers of China and intimidating the ambitions of other countries towards China. The 9 dragons and 5 tigers were all mysterious existences. Their identities were rarely leaked. Other than people like Dongfang Mingwang who were pushed to the surface by the country, the rest of the 9 dragons and 5 tigers were all hidden in the dark. This purple dragon was clearly a hidden dragon, so when everyone learned of Chief Long's identity, they were all shocked. Ha ha ha. Chief Long, who had a cold expression the entire time, once again laughed. He finally suppressed the anger in his heart and didn't explode at Dongfang Qingxue. That little girl Qingxue is truly the smartest person in the Dongfang family. It's a pity that she's a baby girl. Chief Long sighed. Everyone didn't understand what he meant, but Dongfang Haoran, who was standing not far away, had a dark expression. He understood Chief Long's meaning. Chief Long was saying that he was inferior to his elder sister. This was also indirectly saying that the men of Dongfang Mingwang's family were all incompetent people. Dongfang Haoran was angry, but he didn't dare say it out loud. Chief Long didn't even look at Dongfang Haoran as he continued to say, however, I still can't agree to this. Dongfang Qingxue's expression slightly changed. She asked Qiflong why? Could it be that you don't cherish the genius of the younger generation? Do you want to strangle him in the cradle? Dongfang Qingxue directly condemned Qiflong. Everyone was shocked. There weren't many juniors that dared to speak to Qiflong like this in the entire capital. Qiflong's expression didn't change. He had a calm expression the entire time. How could this old man not cherish the younger generation? However, this matter is different. This brat is indeed very talented in martial arts, being able to defeat Hu Tu at such a young age. However, he is arrogant, cruel and cold-blooded. He caused trouble in Soaring Cloud Manor, so as his senior, I should discipline him. When Qiflong's voice fell, he had already lost his patience. Without waiting for Dongfang Qingxue to speak again, Qiflong's figure flashed, and he instantly disappeared in front of everyone. Pung! In a breath's time there was a muffled sound in the hall. Qinfeng, who was just standing there, was sent flying. His entire body smashed into the marble wall and sank into it. His position was exactly where Uncle Hu had sunk into. Pooh! 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 Qinfeng felt the blood in his body churn. He opened his mouth and violently vomited. Blood spilled all over the floor, and he almost vomited out all of his internal organs. Qinfeng quickly took out healing pills and refreshing pills from the system and swallowed them. However, his injuries were clearly too heavy, and he wouldn't be able to recover in a short amount of time. After swallowing the pills, Qinfeng's black eyes tightly fell on Qiflong. He looked as if he wanted to see through Qiflong's body. China's 9 dragons were divided into 9 dragons according to the colors of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and purple. This was the first time Qinfeng fought with China's 9 dragons. He didn't even have the time to counterattack or dodge before he was heavily injured. Was this the true strength of a stage 9 inner qi? Compared to Qinfeng's temporary stage 9 inner qi when he used the killer book at Devil Beast Mountain, it was many times stronger. Cough, cough, cough. Qinfeng was coughing violently. Dongfang Qingxue's expression was a bit cold. However, since Qiflong had already attacked, Dongfang Qingxue didn't plead for mercy for Qiaofeng. She knew it was useless to say anything else. Whoosh! Qiflong's expression was calm. A gust of wind blew behind him, and in the next second, he was already standing under Qinfeng's feet. He raised his head and looked at Qinfeng, who had sunk into the marble wall. How do you feel, kid? How dare you cause trouble in the Soaring Cloud Manor? No one can save you now. Ding. Congratulations, host Qinfeng, for completing the mission to create the ultimate Class 1. You have successfully transformed the medical college's Class 1 into the ultimate Class 1 of the provincial capital university. The system rewards Ouyang Feng, the out-of-print hero, with 20,000 hedonist points. As soon as Qiflong arrived under Qinfeng's feet, the system's notification sounded in Qinfeng's mind. After Qinfeng returned to Provincial Capital University as Qiaofeng, and led the medical college's class to defeat the St. Second Medical College's representative, the system's mission of creating the ultimate Class 1 was suddenly completed. Rumble! Without a second thought, Qinfeng entered the hedonist system and opened the Palace of Heroes. Millions of stars twinkled in the dark night sky, and each star represented an incomparably powerful hero. One of the stars turned into a shooting star and flew toward Qinfeng. Master Shimen Shui requests to fight. As soon as Qinfeng entered the Palace of Heroes, Shimen Shui, who was dressed in a white robe, walked up to him. Qinfeng waved his hand and said, "You can't fight for now. Otherwise my identity will be exposed." Greetings, Master Western Poison Ouyang Feng, the master of the White Camel Mountain Villa and one of the 5 poisons. Suddenly a hoarse voice pierced through time and space. Qinfeng turned around and saw a man wearing a black robe and a black hat standing beside him. Chapter 636. Qinfeng snapped out of his daze and asked excitedly, "Ouyang Feng, what's your realm? How strong are you?" Shimen Shui and Ouyang Feng stood on either side of Qinfeng. One wore a white robe and the other wore black. They looked like the black and white impermanents. It was a strange scene. Ouyang Feng said respectfully, "Master, Ouyang Feng is not talented. Because I practice both internal and external cultivation, my realm is quite low. My external cultivation has reached stage 10, and my internal cultivation has just reached true energy. Ouyang Feng's voice was very calm. He was definitely not showing off. Qin Feng's mouth twitched when he heard this. Qin Feng realized that all the heroes he had had were pretentious. Shimen Chui Shui was always cold and confident. Ouyang Feng practiced both internal and external cultivation and was very strong. He could easily show off with his words. Qin Feng was too embarrassed to speak in front of these two heroes. Master, Ouyang Feng requests to fight and avenge you. Ouyang Feng cupped his hands and looked at Qin Feng respectfully. Qin Feng couldn't let Shimen Chui Shui fight. That would expose his identity. Now that Ouyang Feng, who was even more powerful, had arrived, Qin Feng's desperate situation was solved. However, Qin Feng was still stuck in the marble wall. He was afraid that summoning Ouyang Feng would scare everyone. Even if they couldn't see how Ouyang Feng came, couldn't Qiflong see something was wrong? Master, the system's hero doesn't have to land beside you. It can be summoned anywhere within 100 meters. Little Pig and Qin Feng were telepathically connected. Little Pig didn't need Qin Feng to say anything and resolve Qin Feng's concerns. That makes things easier. Qin Feng was excited. He said to Ouyang Feng, land outside Soaring Cloud Manor and challenge Chief Long. Don't expose our relationship. We won't know each other. Do you understand? Qin Feng thought about it and decided to pretend that he didn't know Ouyang Feng. Otherwise, everyone would see that such a powerful person was Qiao Feng's subordinate. After that, all sorts of trouble would come looking for Qin Feng. Master, Ouyang Feng understands. Please let me out. Ouyang Feng looked impatient. He had been unhappy with Chief Long for a long time. Qin Feng's mind moved and returned to reality. The atmosphere in the Soaring Cloud Mansion was still as depressing as before. Chief Long was still standing at Qin Feng's feet, making sarcastic remarks about Qin Feng. Heh, are you pretending to be deaf and mute again? Or did my palm strike rupture his eardrums and make him truly deaf? This is what happens to those who dare to cause trouble in our Soaring Cloud Manor. Don't you feel good about it? Master Long's status was there. His words did not contain any vulgar words, but every word was provocative. Uncle Hu stood to the side, and a cold smile appeared on his face. It was clear from Elder Long's words that he wanted to avenge him. Elder Long even purposely slapped Qin Feng into the wall that Uncle Hu was stuck in. He was mocking Qin Feng. Qin Feng, who had been silent all this time, suddenly laughed coldly. His laughter was cold and arrogant, giving everyone a fright. Holy shit! Could it be that Qiao Feng was struck dumb by Chief Long's palm? How can you still smile at a time like this? TSK. Qiao Feng is so powerful at such a young age. He is definitely one of the best in our generation. It's a pity that he offended Chief Long. His good life will not last long. He looked at Master Long coldly and said word by word, "Don't worry, I'm not deaf or mute. I just saw a shadow at the door. That shadow kept staring at you, and I have a feeling that you're in trouble." Master Long's eyes were cold as he looked at Qin Feng. Then he said, "Don't worry, I'm not deaf or dumb." Everyone was startled by Qin Feng's sudden words in the middle of the night. Wuxia jumped up from his seat and cursed under his breath. No one knew what he was cursing at Qin Feng. The rich young masters and daughters were a bit speechless. The strength and tyranny that Qin Feng displayed tonight was deeply imprinted in everyone's hearts. Qiao Feng's image was quite lofty. He was strong and had a big temper. However, when he suddenly said such words to fool children, that lofty image immediately collapsed. Isn't it just being oppressed by Chief Long? You can't be so spineless. Haha. Do you think I'm an idiot? Do you think I'll believe your nonsense? Chief Long was slightly stunned. He couldn't help but laugh. He didn't expect that Qiao Feng would use such a small trick to fool people. Did he think he was playing house? You're right. You're an idiot. A hoarse voice came and interrupted Chief Long's laughter. In the next second, everyone only saw a black shadow flickering like a black bolt of lightning. Chief Long's expression changed drastically. He already felt the breath of death coming from behind him. Even he didn't have time to react. He turned around and slapped. Rumble. The empty hall seemed to explode. The floor and the chandelier on the ceiling shook. A violent airflow spread out rapidly, and some of the young masters who were cultivating hurriedly circulated their qi to resist it. Those young ladies who were not cultivating were directly knocked to the ground by the aftershock of the airflow, and the bottom of their skirts were instantly exposed. However, no one peeked at the undergarments, because no one was in the mood to do so. The sudden situation in the hall dumbfounded everyone. There was an extra man in black opposite Chief Long. The man was dressed in a black robe and had a black hat covering his face. He stood there quietly, and his body seemed to radiate an evil aura. Even when the light shone on him, it was as if it was absorbed. It was terrifying. Chief Long still stood with his hands behind his back, but the black marble tiles under his feet were cracked and shattered. Chief Long stood under the floor, and his chest rose and fell significantly. Although everyone didn't see anything, they all knew that a big battle had just taken place. It was just that the battle was too fast and ended before it even started. "Who are you?" After a long while Chief Long spoke. His voice was a little weaker. "That's not important." Ouyingfeng lowered his head. No one could see his appearance. His voice was full of evil, as if it had penetrated from hell. "What's important is that I want to cause trouble for you." "Cause trouble for Chief Long? Was this person crazy?" Ouyingfeng's words were cold and sharp. Everyone in the hall was shocked. In an instant the hall was in an uproar again. Their mouths were wide open, and their jaws dropped to the ground. Who the hell is this person? He seemed to have just exchanged a punch with Chief Long. But he's actually fine. Xiaofeng just said that someone wanted to cause trouble for Chief Long, and someone actually came. Could it be that this person was sent by Xiaofeng? That's not right. Xiaofeng shouldn't be able to invite such a powerful person. Could it be that Chief Long's enemy has come? The discussions continued, but Chief Long and Ouyingfeng turned a deaf ear to them. They stared at each other as if they wanted to see through each other. Chief Long's heart was already in turmoil. He had just exchanged blows with Ouyingfeng, but it was a tie. Aside from the other 8 dragons of the 9 dragons of China, Chief Long couldn't think of anyone else who was so powerful. The other party was obviously not the 9 dragons of China. Could it be that he was from a martial arts sect? "This is the first time we've met. Where did this hatred come from? Why do you want to cause trouble for me?" Chief Long couldn't figure out Ouyingfeng's strength, so he didn't act rashly. Ouyingfeng also stood in place and didn't move. No one knew what he was thinking. "Little pig, why isn't Ouyingfeng moving?" Qin Feng was also puzzled. "Master, Ouyingfeng is a hero from the system. This is his first time landing on Earth. His own magnetic field has a serious conflict with the Earth's magnetic field. Ouyingfeng is adapting to the magnetic field here." Qin Feng suddenly realized that after Shimen Chui Shui was released, he would also be affected by the Earth's magnetic field. Shimen Chui Shui's realm would fall again and again. This Ouyingfeng situation was the same as Shimen Chui Shui's. This made Qin Feng a little worried. What realm is Ouyingfeng now? Little Pig didn't speak, but Shimen Chui Shui's calm voice came. "Master, Ouyingfeng was originally at stage 1 true qi, but now he has fallen to the peak of stage 9 inner qi. Moreover, his strength is still falling rapidly." Qin Feng was shocked by Shimen Chui Shui's words. Ouyingfeng, who was at stage 1 true qi, fell to stage 9 inner qi as soon as he came out. This was really a bit of a scam. Qin Feng guessed that Chief Long's strength was also at the peak of stage 9 inner qi. At this rate, even Ouyingfeng wouldn't be a match. "Master, don't worry." While Qin Feng was anxiously thinking of a countermeasure, Shimen Chui Shui continued. "Ouyingfeng is a genius who cultivates both internal and external techniques. He has already realized that his realm of internal techniques has been falling rapidly, so he is preparing to use external techniques to fight Chief Long. His realm of external techniques hasn't fallen." Qin Feng's eyes lit up as if he had already guessed something. External techniques mainly focus on body refinement, so the interference from the magnetic field is very small. Ouyingfeng's realm of stage 10 external techniques hasn't obviously fallen. While Qin Feng and Shimen Chui Shui were communicating telepathically, Chief Long and Ouyingfeng were also talking. "Since you want to cause trouble for me, why haven't you made your move yet?" Chief Long questioned. He had clearly lost his patience. Chief Long wanted to provoke Ouyang Feng into making the first move, so that he could find his weakness. Since you want to die so much, I'll fulfill your wish. Just as Shimin Shui explained, Ouyang Feng felt that his realm of internal techniques had fallen rapidly, so he used the external technique, Spirit Snake Fist, to fight Chief Long. As soon as he finished speaking, Ouyang Feng's figure disappeared from where he stood. A fierce gust of wind surged around him, and a flash of black lightning appeared in front of Chief Long in the blink of an eye. What a fast speed! What kind of monster is this Black Robe? Why do I feel that he's even more powerful than Chief Long? The discussion started again, and Chief Long's expression changed. When he fought with Ouyang Feng just now, he vaguely noticed that Ouyang Feng's inner chi was fluctuating strangely, as if it was rapidly weakening. However, Ouyang Feng's attack this time was a set of external techniques. This person was actually a genius who cultivated both internal and external techniques, and he had reached the pinnacle of both techniques. Rumble! The Spirit Snake Fist was flexible and ever-changing, but it was also as fierce as thunder. It was much more powerful than Uncle Hu's mace fist. Just as Chief Long was lost in thought, Ouyang Feng's skinny fist landed on Chief Long's chest. Like a clap of thunder, Chief Long's body was instantly sent flying. He directly smashed into the wall and fell to the ground. A mouthful of blood spurted out from Chief Long's mouth and nose. This scene scared everyone out of their wits. That was Chief Long we're talking about. Zilong, one of the 9 dragons in China, who had broken through to the great perfection of inner chi. How could he vomit blood from a punch from the man in black? Was this a dream? The 4 young masters of the capital were stunned. Wuxia didn't know where to put his hands, and Dongfang Qingxue's calm and charming face was also filled with shock. Yunzhe swallowed his saliva, and he had the urge to kneel down and worship this person as his master. Even Qin Feng was so shocked by the scene before him that he was covered in cuts and bruises. He knew that Ouyang Feng was a stage 10 external expert, and obviously he was very powerful. However, this was the first time Qin Feng came into contact with the stage 10 external technique. He didn't expect it to be so powerful. He sent Chief Long flying with just one punch. Master, the stage 10 external technique is the same as stage 1 true chi. It has already stepped into another realm. Zilong, who was at stage 9 inner chi, couldn't withstand a single blow from Ouyang Feng. Shimin Shui explained to Qin Feng. Chapter 637. Even Qin Feng found it hard to believe that Zilong could not withstand a single blow. However, the truth was right before his eyes. He had no choice but to believe it. Cough cough. You, who exactly are you? You people from the sects are getting more and more arrogant. Master Long struggled to get up. Uncle Hu finally came back to his senses and quickly went up to support Master Long. As one of the 9 dragons and 5 tigers, Zilong worked for the dragon sect. The 9 dragons represented the 9 strongest martial artists in China. Not only did they have to deter other countries from spying on China, but they also had to suppress the order of the martial arts world outside of China. Without the 9 dragons and 5 tigers, the martial arts world outside of China would be in chaos. I'm not from the sections. I'm just someone who doesn't like you. Ouyang Feng said overbearingly. In front of strength, he had the capital to be domineering. A complicated light flashed in Chief Long's eyes. He was stunned for a moment. No one knew what was going on in his mind. What do you want? Chief Long asked Ouyang Feng after he regained his senses. Chief Long never thought that he, the dignified Zilong of China, would one day have to ask for someone else's opinion for his freedom and destiny. Chief Long felt aggrieved, but there was nothing he could do. He even thought of calling the dragon sect and asking them to send experts to capture Ouyang Feng. Chief Long had always suspected that Ouyang Feng was from the sections. Had the sects in the martial arts world cultivated such a powerful expert? Wouldn't there be an upheaval in the ancient martial arts world? The thought of asking for help flashed in Chief Long's mind, but he did not do so. He knew that his every move was under Ouyang Feng's surveillance. If he really did that, he would die even faster. I saw that you like to show off too much, so I came to steal your limelight. Ouyang Feng said calmly. This was not his original intention. Ouyang Feng wanted to kill Chief Long directly. Anyone who dared to offend his master must be killed. However, before Ouyang Feng could do anything, Qin Feng communicated with him telepathically. Qin Feng did not want to kill Zilong. After all, Zilong was one of the 9 dragons of China. If he died, there would be big trouble. Chief Long suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. This time he was angered by Ouyang Feng. The hall was in an uproar again. Everyone was shocked by Ouyang Feng's words. Were all powerful people so willful? Just because he couldn't stand seeing others acting tough, he came to beat them up? Furthermore, the person acting pretentiously was Chief Long. Weren't you worried about Zilong's identity? Cough, cough, cough. After Chief Long vomited blood, he coughed violently again. Uncle Hu supported Chief Long and glared fiercely at Ouyang Feng. However, Uncle Hu could only stare at him and did not dare to make a move. Even Chief Long could not withstand a punch from the other party. Uncle Hu felt that he would only die if he went up. Ouyang Feng ignored Elder Long, who was vomiting blood in anger. His gaze fell on Qin Feng, who was stuck in the wall. Did you hit that young man? As he spoke, Ouyang Feng's figure disappeared. When he returned, Qin Feng was already standing next to Ouyang Feng. When Ouyang Feng and Chief Long were fighting just now, Qin Feng had been circulating his inner qi to recover his strength. The inner qi in his body was still very chaotic, but it was no problem for him to move normally. Thank you for saving me, Senior. I wonder if Senior is willing to accept me as your disciple and let me follow you around? Qin Feng cupped his hands and bowed to Ouyang Feng. Ouyang Feng followed Qin Feng's will and said, "Get up. I'm used to being a loner, so I won't accept you as my disciple. However, I see that you are talented in martial arts, and we are fated to meet. Let's become good friends, and I'll give you some pointers in the future." Qin Feng looked excited and quickly said, "Thank you, Senior, for thinking so highly of me. I'll have to trouble Senior to take care of me in the future." Ouyang Feng didn't say anything else and nodded to express his agreement. Seeing that Qin Feng had befriended such a powerful friend, everyone's hearts began to stir. "Senior, my name is Wuxia, and I'm Teacher Qiao Feng's disciple. I'm very close to Teacher Qiao Feng. Since you're all friends, why don't you add me as well?" Wuxia was the first to jump out. He grew up in an ancient martial arts family and was deeply obsessed with martial arts. Being able to meet a great senior like Ouyang Feng, Wuxia was so excited that he wanted to hug and kiss Ouyang Feng. Bang! As soon as Wuxia finished speaking, his fat body was sent flying and landed outside of the soaring cloud mansion's gate. Then Ouyang Feng's hoarse voice drifted out. "I'm only making one friend today. Don't bother me anymore, or else you'll end up like that damn fatty." When Ouyang Feng said the word damn fatty, Lu Shu instinctively thought that Ouyang Feng was talking about him. His fat body trembled in anger, but Lu Shu didn't dare to let out a fart. Everyone watched as Qin Feng sucked up to Ouyang Feng. They could only watch quietly, not daring to move or even breathe too loudly. Zilong, one of the 9 dragons of China, was sitting on one side. Uncle Hu, the #1 red rod of Soaring Cloud Mansion, was also sitting on the other side. Usually, either one of them would scare the hell out of everyone, but now they were completely ignored by everyone. "Qiao Feng, my little friend, it's getting late. I should go now. Let's meet again if fate allows it," Ouyang Feng suddenly said. Qin Feng hastily said, "Senior, I don't know when we'll meet again. Can I shamelessly ask a favor from you?" Ouyang Feng said straightforwardly, "All right, tell me. I'll definitely help you fulfill your wish." Qin Feng suddenly looked at Lu Shu and the other 2 people and said with a smile, "Senior, that damn fatty and the 2 people beside him teamed up to bully me and my friends. It was because of the 3 of them that I fought with Uncle Hu. In the end, Zilong attacked me. Therefore, I want the 3 of them to submit to me and listen to my orders in the provincial capital." Lu Shu and the other 2 people's faces instantly turned as black as the bottom of a pot. They had seen shameless people before, but they had never seen someone as shameless as Qin Feng. Ouyang Feng was about to leave, but after hearing Qin Feng's words, his entire body emitted an evil aura. His face, which was hidden under the black hat, was incomparably ferocious. He suddenly raised his head and looked at Lu Shu and the other 2 people, scaring them half to death. That was an old face that was wrinkled like thorns. Was he still a human? "As senior, please don't listen to his nonsense. We didn't purposely make trouble for him. It's him who made trouble for us first. Lu Shu was so scared that his fat body trembled. I didn't make a move from the beginning to the end. Yang Can's heart also trembled. In order to save his life at the crucial moment, he didn't hesitate to betray Lu Shu and Sima Xiang. Yang Can said that he didn't make a move. Did he mean that Lu Shu and Sima Xiang made a move? Lu Shu and Sima Xiang angrily glared at Yang Can. I am an important disciple of the Sima family in the provincial capital. The Sima family's blacksmith shops can be found in various martial artist towns in China. Sima Xiang directly revealed his identity. He thought that no matter how powerful Ouyang Feng was, wouldn't he buy a spiritual weapon to increase his battle strength? Humph! Ouyang Feng sneered. He didn't even bother to look at Sima Xiang. He slightly raised his withered and lifeless hand and a strong wind burst out. The arrogant Sima Xiang was directly sent flying. He lay on the ground and began to vomit mouthfuls of blood. What big family are you two disciples of? Hurry up and say it or else you won't have a chance to say it later. Ouyang Feng swatted Sima Xiang away as easily as if he was swatting away an annoying fly. His domineering and fearless attitude made everyone's heart palpitate. The last bit of confidence in Lu Shu and Yang Can's heart completely collapsed. Their two great clans were weaker than Sima Xiang's clan. Ouyang Feng even ignored the Sima clan. So how could he be afraid of the Yang clan and Lu clan? Senior, I was wrong. I shouldn't have offended your friend. Please forgive me, Senior. Lu Shu's legs trembled and he directly sat on the ground. He was only a stage 3 inner chi master. Standing in front of a stage 9 inner chi master was really stressful. Yang Can also sat on his buttocks. Ouyang Feng's body emitted an invisible aura that made Yang Can's breathing difficult. I know I was wrong. I'm willing to become good friends with Qiao Feng and help each other. Yang Can and Lu Shu lowered their posture. In other words, they were like two pugs in front of Ouyang Feng. These two were two of the capital's 4 young masters. When they came in, they were full of arrogance and were admired and fawned on by everyone. This huge change shocked everyone speechless. Ouyang Feng seemed to not see the two begging for mercy. He looked at Qin Feng and said indifferently, "You don't need to beg me. Just do as Qiao Feng says." Lu Shu and Yang Can's expressions changed. They looked hesitant and sullen. Qin Feng's meaning was very clear. He wanted the capital's 4 young masters to submit to him and listen to his commands. He wanted to completely step on the capital's 4 young masters. You don't agree? Then I don't want to waste my time. I'll send you off. Ouyang Feng's cold voice resounded in Lu Shu and Yang Can's mind like the threat of the Grim Reaper. This person beat up Lord Long just because he couldn't stand Lord Long's arrogance. What else did he not dare to do? Senior, please don't attack. I, Lu Shu, am willing to subdue Qiao Feng. Qiao Feng is my big brother from now on. I'll listen to him. Lu Shu was actually very timid and afraid of death. He couldn't take Ouyang Feng's threat. Yang Can saw Ouyang Feng's cold gaze fall on him and was speechless. What else could Yang Can choose? Lu Shu was already subdued. Was he supposed to fight Ouyang Feng to the death? Yang Can is also willing to submit. I'm willing to be Big Brother Qiao Feng's little brother. Lu Shu and Yang Can were both subdued. The heavily injured Sima Xiang had no other choice. He could only unhappily submit. At this time, everyone's gazes fell on Dongfang Haoran. He was the only one of the capital's 4 young masters who hadn't submitted to Qiao Feng. Mr. Qiao Feng, my little brother has no ill intentions towards you. I hope you can be magnanimous. Dongfang Haoran's expression was cold. He was naturally unwilling to submit to Qiao Feng in front of everyone. Before he could make a decision, Dongfang Qing Shui, who was wearing a pink qipao, stepped forward and stood in front of him. A unique woman's fragrance floated over. He couldn't help but take a few deep breaths. Since the beautiful Qing Shui has said so, I won't make things difficult for little brother Haoran. Let's end this here. No one would have thought that Qiao Feng, who had been domineering the entire night, would suddenly take a step back. However, everyone quickly understood that even heroes had a weakness for the charms of a beautiful woman. Qin Feng indeed wanted to take care of Dongfang Qing Shui and Dongfang Haoran. However, more importantly, a system announcement rang out in his mind. He naturally didn't need to force Dongfang Haoran to submit to him. Ding, congratulations host Qin Feng for completing the quest. Intimidate the capital's 4 young masters and suppress their limelight. The system rewards you 500 G of purple star sand, a piece of black sifting wood, and 10,000 hedonist points. Chapter 638. Dongfang Qingxue didn't expect Xiaofeng to agree so easily. Others thought Xiaofeng had fallen for Dongfang Qingxue's beauty. Moreover, Lu Jie had also shouted about this in front of everyone. However, Dongfang Qingxue didn't think so. As the smartest genius girl in the Dongfang family, Dongfang Qingxue had a meticulous mind. She had been secretly observing Xiaofeng. She discovered that Xiaofeng didn't have the vulgar and impulsive gaze that other young masters gave her. Xiaofeng's eyes were as clear as water, and they didn't change much when he looked at her. Therefore, Dongfang Qingxue concluded that Xiaofeng hadn't fallen for her. Then why did Xiaofeng give her face? Then I thank Mr. Xiaofeng on behalf of my little brother, Hao Ran. Dongfang Qingxue quickly regained her senses and bowed slightly. Everyone was dumbstruck by this scene. Dongfang Qingxue was one of the 4 fairies of the capital, and the only daughter of the Dongfang family. She wasn't even this polite to Uncle Long, but she was so close to Xiaofeng. Could it be that Dongfang Qingxue had fallen for Xiaofeng? Oh right, she was about to announce something, but she was interrupted by that damn fatty Lu Jie. Who knew what Dongfang Qingxue wanted to say? Haha, beauty Qingxue, you don't have to be so polite. I have a good impression of little brother Hao Ran. We can be friends in the future. Dongfang Qingxue was Qin Feng's fiancé. Even though Qin Feng had always been unwilling to accept this marriage, for the sake of Grandpa Dongfang Mingwang, Qin Feng had to be more courteous. He was afraid that if he provoked Hao Ran and Qingxue, he would be violently beaten by that eccentric Dongfang Mingwang. Mr. Xiaofeng is broad-minded and powerful. Qingxue also has a good impression of you. A blush appeared on Dongfang Qingxue's snow-white face as she lowered her head in a shy manner. This scene directly scared everyone silly. Could it be that Miss Qingxue really took a fancy to Xiaofeng? Even Qin Feng was stunned. He couldn't understand Dongfang Qingxue's thoughts. He wouldn't believe that Dongfang Qingxue fell for him even if he was beaten to death. This was because even though Dongfang Qingxue looked bashful, Qin Feng couldn't see a trace of affection in her starry eyes. This woman was clearly acting, but why was she acting like this? Qin Feng couldn't see through Dongfang Qingxue, and Dongfang Qingxue also couldn't see through Qin Feng. The two of them stared at each other for a while before Ouyang Feng spoke. Young friend Xiaofeng, since the matter has been resolved, I should also leave. When I return to the provincial capital, I will naturally find you. Ouyang Feng received Qin Feng's message. As soon as he finished speaking, his figure disappeared. As soon as Ouyang Feng left, the sinister aura in the hall quickly dissipated. Many people hurriedly began to breathe heavily, feeling as if they were suffocating to death. Chief Long and Uncle Hu heaved a sigh of relief at the same time. They didn't know Ouyang Feng's background, so they were afraid that Ouyang Feng would kill them all. If that happened, Zilong, one of the 9 dragons of China, would really die in the Soaring Cloud Mansion today. No one would believe this even if they told others about it. Beauty Qingxue, I'm leaving too. Qin Feng bid farewell to Dongfang Qingxue, then looked at Lu Shu and the others and sneered. Damn fatty, remember this. From now on you will all be my Xiaofeng's underlings. Looking at Qin Feng's slowly disappearing silhouette, Lu Shu and the others gnashed their teeth in anger. The rich young master's expressions were indescribable, and the rich young mistress's faces were filled with disappointment. Many women's hearts had already been stolen by Xiaofeng. Chief Long, should we go and stop that stinking brat? Uncle Hu's gaze became cold and filled with killing intent. Chief Long lightly shook his head and sighed. Don't provoke that brat for now. I have more important things to report to the dragon sect. Help me upstairs to rest first. Uncle Hu knew that Chief Long was afraid that the old monster Ouyang Feng hadn't left yet. If he went to catch Xiaofeng now, he might very well lose his life. However, saying this was like slapping Chief Long's face. It was good that Uncle Hu knew and didn't mention it. Teacher Xiaofeng, walk slower, wait for me. After Qin Feng left the Soaring Cloud Mansion, he hurried to Provincial Capital University. He thought that attending a gathering of the rich and powerful would not take up too much time. He didn't expect so many things to happen. It was almost midnight. Qin Feng's footsteps slowed down a little. Lu Jie was drenched in sweat, but he finally caught up with Qin Feng. Here you go. Qin Feng waved his hand and threw the overlord slash that he just took out from the system. The sky was too dark, so Lu Jie saw a huge object flashing with orange light flying toward him. It almost hit his head. Lu Jie caught the overlord slash with difficulty. He was stunned on the spot, and the fat on his body trembled with excitement. Holy shit! This is an orange-level spiritual equipment? Teacher Xiaofeng, are you really giving me an orange-level spiritual equipment? Lu Jie was so excited that he almost cried. Qin Feng didn't stop walking. As he walked he said calmly, keep it if you like it. If you don't like it, you can sell it as scrap metal. When Lu Jie heard Teacher Xiaofeng's voice getting further and further away, he quickly returned to his senses and followed Qin Feng. He was carrying a broadsword that was taller than a man in the middle of the night, as if he was carrying his own son. How could he sell this treasure as scrap metal? Even if Lu Jie sold himself, he would keep the overlord slash to cut vegetables. No, to cut people. Teacher Xiaofeng, who are you? How did you defeat Uncle Hu? What's your rank? Don't tell me you have a lot of orange-level spiritual equipment? Lu Jie was full of curiosity about Qin Feng, as if it was his first time meeting Qin Feng. Lu Jie's voice was so loud that it was as if he was selling vegetables. A few old men and grandmas who were running at night passed by Qin Feng and Lu Jie. When they saw Lu Jie carrying a broadsword covered in fluorescent powder and shouting, they were so scared that they took a detour and ran away. Qin Feng wanted to kick Lu Jie away. He said angrily, don't shout so loud. If the police come, they'll arrest you as a lunatic. Also, don't ask me anything. I won't tell you anything. Oh right, don't tell anyone about what happened tonight. Otherwise, I'll take back the overlord slash. Lu Jie gripped the overlord slash tightly and looked at Qin Feng cautiously. His expression made Qin Feng want to laugh. Don't worry, Teacher Xiaofeng. I won't tell anyone. Lu Jie promised with a sincere expression. Although the incident tonight was a big deal, Qin Feng wasn't worried that it would spread throughout the capital. That night, Master Long and Uncle Hu had been slapped in the face. The three young masters of Jingdu had also been slapped in the face. These people were all important figures in Jingdu. Even though many people had seen it with their own eyes, they did not dare to speak about it. If the news got out, the first person to cause trouble for them would be Master Long. Qin Feng and Lu Jie chatted for a while before they returned to provincial capital university. Lu Jie sent Qin Feng to the university gate and Qin Feng happily carried the overlord slash back home. It was already midnight when Qin Feng returned to the dormitory building. The lights in Chong Xian and the other two girls' room were off. It seemed like the three girls were asleep. After Qin Feng confirmed that the three girls were fine, he prepared to go back to his room to rest. Suddenly, the door of room 321 opened. Willis and Prince William walked out, chatting and laughing. Then I won't send you off. Be careful on your way back. Willis said goodbye to Prince William with a bright smile. Prince William also said some polite words and walked towards Qin Feng. Teacher Xiaofeng, why are you still awake? Prince William was startled when he saw Qin Feng. He thought he had seen a ghost. Qin Feng smiled and said, I just finished jogging in the field and was about to sleep. Why are you so late, Prince William? I was chatting with some exchange students from St. Medical University and forgot about the time. I have to go back to sleep now. Teacher Xiaofeng, are you free tomorrow night? I'll come and play with you, Prince William said. I should be free. Knock on my door if you want to come. Qin Feng guessed that Prince William would come to persuade him to go to America with him again. Qin Feng still couldn't understand why Prince William would trick him to go to America. All right, I'll go back first. Prince William said goodbye to Qin Feng and went downstairs. Qin Feng returned to his dormitory with a heart full of doubts. Chapter 639. Provincial Capital University was in an uproar because the beauty duo had come to the university for a concert. Usually the weekend was the time for students to sleep in. However, this weekend was different. Almost all the students on campus woke up early in the morning and rushed to the university gymnasium. It was a spectacular scene, as if the Red Army was marching to the base. If they were late, there would be no seats left. The seats here referred to the seats where they would stand. Qin Feng was unaware of the commotion on campus because he was sleeping soundly on his bed. Last night, Qin Feng fought with Uncle Hu and Qiflong and was injured by Qiflong. Therefore, he needed a good rest to recover his energy. However, before he could fall asleep, he was woken up by the ringing of his cell phone. Xiaofeng, are you a dead pig? Look at the time, why aren't you up yet? Kiki and Sherman are starving, and they're clamoring for breakfast. Hurry up and buy us breakfast. What kind of bodyguard are you? You're so incompetent. Chang Xian's cold voice of complaint came from the other side of the phone. It seemed like the three girls had just woken up and they wanted to make Qin Feng suffer. Qin Feng hung up the phone and grumbled inwardly. Now you know that I'm your bodyguard? If you're my bodyguard, why didn't you ask me to hug you three to sleep last night? Despite his grumbling, Qin Feng crawled out of bed. Chang Xian's sudden phone call had woken him up. Since he was hungry, he put on his clothes and went downstairs to buy breakfast. Carrying a big bag of food, Qin Feng knocked on the door of the three girls' dormitory. After a while, the door was opened. Chang Xian was wearing a black spaghetti-strap nightgown. Her hair was still a little fluffy. She looked at Qin Feng with half-closed eyes. It was obvious that she had not woken up yet. Qin Feng immediately understood that Chang Xian must have woken him up, and the three girls continued to sleep happily. What are you doing? Don't come in. Give me the breakfast and leave. Chang Xian glared at Qin Feng vigilantly. Qin Feng curled his lips and his gaze fell on Chang Xian's fair neckline. Chang Xian hastily pulled her collar and gnashed her teeth in anger. Since you won't let me in, I'll bring the breakfast back myself. Qin Feng glanced at Chang Xian's long legs and turned to leave. Chang Xian's stomach growled. She quickly called out to Qin Feng, hey, come back and give me the breakfast. Cuckoo and Sherman are asking for it. Qin Feng smiled at Chang Xian and said, they're still sleeping, right? They're waiting for me to wake up after I'm done buying breakfast. Chang Xian's expression turned slightly awkward when she realized Qin Feng had seen through her. Qin Feng seized the opportunity when Chang Xian was caught off guard and entered the three women's dormitory in a flash. Xiaofeng, Cuckoo and Sherman. Cuckoo and Sherman are still in bed. Cuckoo and Sherman. Zhang Cuckoo and Rao Sherman were woken up by the noise. Rao Sherman was wearing a white muslin nightgown. Qin Feng had only taken a few glances when Rao Sherman hastily pulled the quilt over her body. Zhang Cuckoo was still wearing the same Doraemon nightgown. She pouted and rubbed her sleepy eyes. Her skirt was pulled up to her waist, revealing her cartoon underwear. Hey, Cuckoo! Can't you take care of yourself? Quick, cover yourself with the blanket. Xiaofeng has seen everything. Chang Xian was helpless against the careless Zhang Cuckoo. She hastily pulled the blanket over Zhang Cuckoo. Zhang Cuckoo finally opened her eyes. She squinted her eyes and looked at Qin Feng for a long time. Suddenly she asked, Big Sister Chang Xian, who is this person? Qin Feng's mouth twitched. He had forgotten how many times he had been hurt by Zhang Cuckoo. Qin Feng threw the breakfast on the table, sat down and gobbled it down. Zhang Cuckoo's eyes widened as a delicious aroma spread in the room. She ran to Qin Feng's side and sat down barefooted, ignoring the fact that her long legs were exposed to Qin Feng. The deep-fried dough sticks, the buns, the chives, and the soy milk are even better. Zhang Cuckoo was a big eater. She devoured the deep-fried dough sticks and the fried buns with gusto. Qin Feng was dumbfounded by the sight of her wolfing down the food. Was this the silly girl that every male student in provincial capital university was crazy about? Rao Sherman and Chang Xian could not resist their hunger, so they sat down at the table. However, they put on a jacket over their pajamas to prevent themselves from being exposed. Both of them looked at Zhang Cuckoo's wolfing down the food helplessly, but there was nothing they could do to stop her. Cuckoo, go put on some clothes before you eat, Chang Xian said as she looked at Zhang Cuckoo's collar. Zhang Cuckoo's fair skin could be seen with just a glance. Zhang Cuckoo acted as if she did not hear Chang Xian's words. She was in a good mood because of the food Qin Feng brought for her. Zhang Cuckoo kicked her legs and placed them on Qin Feng's thighs. She smiled at Qin Feng and said, Uncle, although this is our first time meeting, I've decided to be good friends with you since you brought me such a delicious breakfast. Qin Feng stared at Zhang Keke's feet that were covered in dust. She was rubbing her feet against his pants, dirtying his clean white trousers. Qin Feng yelled, "What's wrong with this girl's eyes? Call me brother." "Alright, can you lift your legs a little higher? Let's not be good friends. Can we be fucking buddies?" "Qiao Feng, what are you talking about? Get out of here if you spout nonsense again." Qin Feng's eyes were almost glued to Zhang Keke's nightgown. Chang Xian could not stand it anymore. She pulled Qin Feng to sit beside her. This time, Qin Feng was sandwiched between Chang Xian and Rao Sherman. He drank his tofu pudding and stole glances at the two girls' nightgowns. Their faces turned cold and they wished they could pour the whole night's worth of mung bean porridge on Qin Feng's head. After Zhang Keke finished her meal, she crawled back to her bed and fell asleep. Chang Xian and Rao Sherman were jealous of Zhang Keke's physique that did not put on any weight no matter how much she ate or slept. "Teacher Qiao Feng, you can leave now since you've finished your meal." Chang Xian was already annoyed by Qin Feng, and she wanted to chase him away. Qin Feng shifted his gaze from Zhang Keke's curvy buttocks to Chang Xian and asked, "Teacher Chang Xian, what did you just say?" Chang Xian glared at Zhang Keke's bed. She was fuming with anger. Zhang Keke lay on the bed and slept like a koala. Her nightgown fell to her waist, exposing her fair, long legs and sexy curvy buttocks to Qin Feng. It's hard for Qin Feng not to look at her when she's so seductive. "I said, get out of here after you've finished your meal. I'll gouge your eyes out if you continue to stare at me." Chang Xian could not stand Qiao Feng anymore. His eyes were always filled with lecherous glints, just like Qin Feng. However, Chang Xian found Qin Feng much more pleasing to the eye than Qiao Feng. At least Qin Feng was handsome. Qin Feng finally behaved himself when he saw Chang Xian had lost her temper. However, Qin Feng had no intention of leaving. His gaze suddenly fell on Rao Sherman's charming yet indifferent face. "Beauty Sherman, are you and Keke going to hold a concert at the sports stadium tonight?" Rao Sherman had mentioned that she was going to hold a concert at the sports stadium when she first arrived at the university. She believed that Qiao Feng knew about it, but he still asked her a question despite knowing the answer. Naturally, Rao Sherman assumed that Qiao Feng was trying to get close to her. Rao Sherman's expression was indifferent. She said indifferently, yes. Qin Feng knew Rao Sherman very well. This woman had a temperament that was as indifferent as water. Qin Feng did not mind it and continued, "I suggest you and Keke change the venue of the concert. The sports stadium is not good." "Why? We've already chosen the venue, and Keke and I have already sent out the announcement. I'm sure the students of Provincial Capital University are rushing to the sports stadium now. I won't change the venue." Rao Sherman was slightly stunned. She quickly rejected Qin Feng's suggestion after she regained her senses. Chang Xian also glared at Qin Feng coldly. She thought that Qin Feng was just trying to pick up Rao Sherman. Qin Feng's face turned as dark as the bottom of a pot when he saw the disdain and hostility in the two women's eyes. This was like a dog biting Lu Dongbin's hand. "Beauty Sherman, do you know Lu Shu and Yang Can?" Since Qin Feng was using Qiao Feng's identity, he had no way of convincing Rao Sherman to listen to him. Rao Sherman's face turned deathly pale when she heard these two names. She and Keke were almost raped by these two beasts not long ago. How could she not know them? "Ah, Lu Shu and Yang Can, those two bastards are here? Where are they? Keke's fireball talismans will burn them to death." Zhang Keke, who was sleeping soundly, suddenly jumped out of bed. She was holding two yellow talismans in her hand and jumping around the room. Her pajamas were in a mess, revealing her naked body. Qin Feng couldn't help but swallow a few mouthfuls of saliva at the sight of it. Soon Qin Feng regained his senses. When he saw the fireball talismans in Zhang Keke's hand, he was so angry that his nose became crooked. As expected, those talismans were taken by this silly girl. "Keke, don't be afraid. No one is coming. Go back to bed and lie down." Rao Sherman and Chang Xian slapped their foreheads helplessly when they saw Zhang Keke's reaction was as good as naked. Although Zhang Keke appeared to be insensitive, the incident last time had left a shadow in her heart. That was why she was so nervous when she heard Lu Shu and Yang Can's names. After learning that it was just a nightmare, Zhang Kuku glanced at Qin Feng and went back to sleep. She added, "Sure man, big sister Chang Exin, who is that man? Don't bring a man back to the dormitory." Qin Feng rolled his eyes and glared at Zhang Kuku's seductive sleeping posture. He had the urge to rush forward and teach this girl a lesson. Rao Sherman had calmed down. She looked at Qin Feng and asked, "Teacher Qiao Feng, what do you mean? Yesterday afternoon when I was at the cafeteria, I overheard two people in the private room next door who wanted to harm you and Kuku. They called themselves the Four Young Masters of the provincial capital, and they've planted their men in the stadium. They're going to kidnap you and Kuku at the backstage after the concert." Qin Feng briefly explained Lu Shu and Yang Can's plan to Rao Sherman. Rao Sherman was nervous as she listened to Qin Feng's explanation. Her beautiful eyes darted back and forth as she tried to come up with a countermeasure. Chang Exin did not know Lu Shu and Yang Can, but she had heard of the Four Young Masters of the provincial capital. They were good-for-nothing, lecherous, and good-for-nothing scoundrels. Now that these people had their eyes on Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku, Chang Exin became nervous. Seeing Rao Sherman's beautiful brows furrowed, Qin Feng felt a bit uncomfortable. He really wanted to pull Rao Sherman into his arms and comfort her, but Qin Feng knew that if he did that with his current identity as Qiao Feng, he would definitely die miserably. "Beauty Sherman, you don't have to worry. I've already thought of a plan. We'll change the venue of the concert. We'll change the venue to an open-air field instead of a closed stadium. This way, those two scoundrels won't be able to harm you." Qin Feng had already planned this from the start. He changed the venue of the concert not only to foil Lu Shu and Yang Can's plan, but also to disrupt the plans of the William family's spies. This was because Qin Feng had chosen the venue of the concert at the biology laboratory in the old school district. Chang Exin was at a loss as to what to do. She looked at Rao Sherman, waiting for Rao Sherman's decision. Rao Sherman pondered for a while before she nodded. "Then we'll do as Professor Qiao Feng says. Thank you for your advice, Professor Qiao Feng. I'm very grateful." Rao Sherman realized she had misunderstood Qiao Feng. She blamed herself. Although Qiao Feng was lecherous, he was a reliable person when he was serious. Chang Exin's attitude softened. After all, Qin Feng had provided her with crucial information. Chang Exin looked at Qin Feng and said, "Professor Qiao Feng, you'll be in charge of notifying the students about the change of venue." Qin Feng nodded and said, "Tell them to go out later in case Willow Tree and Yang can get the news and do something. Actually, there's no need to worry too much. Call the school's security team over tonight, and I'll personally protect the three beauties. I'm sure nothing will happen." A smile appeared on Qin Feng's face. Rao Sherman and Chang Exin instinctively kept their distance from Qin Feng. Why does this guy have such a perverted smile? Qin Feng left the three ladies' dormitory after they decided to change the venue of the concert. The concert was scheduled to start at 5 p.m. They had to go to the biology laboratory to build a temporary outdoor stage. However, it was still morning, so they were not in a hurry. Qin Feng returned to his room to catch up on his sleep. The entrance of the Provincial Capital University Stadium was filled with people. The stadium was designed to accommodate 3,000 people. However, with tens of thousands of students and teachers from the Provincial Capital University, the stadium couldn't accommodate the crowd. The gymnasium was packed with people, and the scene was as lively as Qin Feng's class. There were even 5 long lines at the entrance, and the entrance to the gymnasium was completely blocked by the crowd. The people inside couldn't get out, and the people outside couldn't get in. Holy shit! This is the first day I've woken up in my 4 years in university, and I can't even get into the stadium? Are the heavens blind? Someone in the crowd complained. Don't make a fuss. What's wrong with you waking up early? I came here at 3 a.m., and the line was half the length of this one. The guy who complained that the heavens were blind twitched his mouth. He was too embarrassed to say anything. The guy who arrived at 3 a.m. continued, "Do you know how the people who managed to squeeze into the stadium did it? Those sons of bitches carried mats and blankets here after dinner last night. They slept on the floor of the stadium the whole night." After listening to this guy's words, the grumbling voices in the crowd instantly disappeared. It was as if they were fighting for tickets during the spring festival. Chapter 640. Young Master Gao, look at those students lining up in the cold wind like idiots. How pathetic. 5 men sat on the steps outside the gymnasium and looked at the students in front of them with smiles on their faces. The one who spoke was the bully of medical college, Fong Ming. Beside Fong Ming were his 2 lackeys, Fatty and Skinny. Next to them were Gao Tianyao and teacher Xiao Lei. The 5 of them were chatting and admiring the pretty girls as if they were on vacation. A contemptuous smile flashed across Gao Tianyao's face. He said proudly, "Humph, this society is all about power and wealth. Last night I paid 50 students to line up in the gymnasium. I've booked all the seats in the first row of the gymnasium. Look at those idiots lining up by themselves. They're all poor losers." Gao Tianyao had the highest status among the 5, so Fong Ming and Xiao Lei flattered him. Young Master Gao is right. Compared to you, those students aren't even qualified to carry your shoes. Gao Tianyao, since you've booked a seat in the first row, why don't you save a seat for us? Xiao Lei rubbed his hands together and grinned widely. This beautiful girl group was famous all over the country. Even Xiao Lei at his age was attracted to them. Teacher Xiao Lei, don't worry. Why should I, Gao Tianyao, dominate the provincial capital university? It's because of the spirit of brotherhood. You guys are my good brothers, so you'll get a seat in the first row. When the time comes, we'll invite Xiao Shishir, Hua Yin, and the other beauties to join us. This campus belle will be at our mercy. Gao Tianyao smirked. Fong Ming and Xiao Lei laughed along with him. Both of them despised Gao Tianyao's claim of dominating the provincial capital university because not long ago, Gao Tianyao was cursed by Wuxia and beaten up by 2 teachers. Of course, they wouldn't say it out loud because they wanted to see Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku in the first row of the gymnasium. Young Master Gao, which beauty in the provincial capital university won't fall for your jeans? Haha, we're all basking in Gao Tianyao's glory tonight. The 5 of them flattered each other and had a great time. The students didn't feel cold even though they were standing in the cold wind. Their passion were more than enough for them. The queue grew longer and longer. Time flew by, and a tall and strong figure walked over. Teacher Qiaofeng is here. I heard that Teacher Qiaofeng is the personal assistant of the pretty girls duo. Do you think Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku will be in danger? How could the school make such an inhumane arrangement? I'm going to look for Teacher Qiaofeng right now, and ask him if I want to take some photos of the beautiful girls in bed. Qiaofeng's popularity in provincial capital university was soaring. His popularity wasn't any less than that of the pretty girl duo. As soon as Qin Feng arrived, the students were in an uproar. Many female students didn't even line up and surrounded Qin Feng, secretly taking advantage of him. Gao Tianyao's group of 5, who were sitting on the opposite side of the stairs, also noticed the commotion. Xiao Feng was the main reason why the 5 of them had gathered together. They were all people who had been oppressed by Xiao Feng, so they were huddling together for warmth. Humph! He looks as ordinary as a piece of white paper. I wonder what kind of eyes those girls have. Gao Tianyao was the first to complain when he saw Xiao Feng. Xiao Feng and Wuxia had bullied him at the rich and powerful gathering last night, and he was still holding back his anger. Since Liang Yu had knocked Gao Tianyao out and sent him away, he didn't know what happened in the soaring cloud mansion. Xiao Lei's eyes flashed with a cold light. He was displeased that Xiao Feng and Chang Exen were arranged to live together in the old condominium. Let's go and meet that idiot, Xiao Lei suggested. Gao Tianyao, Fong Ming, and the others were hesitant. Gao Tianyao said, let's not go. That brat is very strange. Gao Tianyao, have you forgotten that we have all the seats in the first row of the gymnasium? Do you think we're afraid of that idiot? Xiao Lei reminded them. Gao Tianyao and Fong Ming's eyes lit up as they understood Xiao Lei's intention. The 5 of them stood up and swaggered toward the crowd. Qin Feng's heart was itching to be teased by dozens of beautiful girls. He thought to himself, the girls in this university are really open. Wow, Professor Qiaofeng, you're here too. Come on, I've been standing here for a long time. I'll give you the seat in front of me. You can stand here. Lu Jie's voice suddenly came from the crowd. Qin Feng quickly ran toward him as if he had found a straw in the water. There were hundreds of students standing behind Lu Jie. They were displeased to see Professor Qiaofeng cutting the line, but they didn't say anything. Hey, isn't this Hua Yan? Are you here to watch the pretty girl's concert as well? Qin Feng squeezed through the crowd and saw Hua Yan standing in front of him. Qin Feng was in a state of confusion from being teased by the college girls. Taking advantage of the chaos, he quickly pressed his body against Hua Yan's back. Aya, what are you trying to do? You're disgusting. Get away from me. Lu Jia, what did I tell you? I told you to stand behind me and block those annoying people. Why did you let Xiao Feng cut in? Hua Yan's temper was as fiery as ever, and her words were shocking. Qin Feng's imagination ran wild when he heard Hua Yan's last sentence. Lu Jia looked wronged. As Qin Feng's follower, he had been protecting Hua Yan's sister-in-law at school. However, he had taken Xiao Feng's overlord last night, so he could only pretend that he didn't see anything. Lu Jia, you fat pig, are you rebelling? Don't you call me sister-in-law every day? Why are you so soft now that she's being bullied? Hua Yan's words shocked Qin Feng again. The surrounding male students also stole glances at them. Everyone had their eyes on Hua Yan, but this girl's temper was too fiery. Only a few people dared to get close to her. Yo, Professor Xiao Feng is cutting the line here? TSK, you're really a model teacher. You've set a good example for us. Before Lu Jia could say anything, a sarcastic voice was heard. They turned around and saw Gao Tianyao and the other four swaggering up to them. Lu Jia's face darkened when he saw Gao Tianyao. Last night, he and Xiao Feng had offended the young masters of the 4 major families and 5 minor families in the provincial capital. Lu Jia was not afraid of anyone now. He shouted at Gao Tianyao, "You little bastard! How dare you talk to Professor Xiao Feng like that? Do you believe that I won't slap you?" Gao Tianyao had already thought of a way to show off. He would first ridicule Qin Feng, then flatter Hua Yan and Xiao Shishir by telling them that he had a seat in the first row. After that, he would pick a few beauties to sit in the first row with him. It was a wonderful fantasy, but it was ruined by Lu Jia's words. Gao Tianyao's face turned red with anger. However, he was no match for Lu Jia, so he could only swallow his anger and pretend that he didn't hear Lu Jia. Xiao Lei couldn't stand it anymore. He stepped forward and said, "Miss Hua Yan, Gao Tianyao has grabbed a few seats in the first row. Do you want to join us and sit in the first row to watch the concert?" Xiao Lei purposely raised his voice, so many students heard him. Their eyes sparkled with greed as they stared at Gao Tianyao as if they were looking at a treasure. Gao Tianyao smiled. "Haha, Professor Xiao Lei is right. I don't have many seats in the first row. I only have 50 seats in total. Is there anyone who wants to join our family? I can provide you with seats in the first row." Gao Tianyao was indeed an expert in showing off. His words caused a commotion among the students. Gao Tianyao and the others' faces darkened when they saw dozens of losers rushing toward them. Gao Tianyao hastily shouted, "Calm down, everyone. My family only wants girls and they must be beauties." TSK. What a hypocritical piece of trash. Humph. Who wants to join your family? I don't even care if you invite me. The few boys who rushed to the front retreated angrily and cursed Gao Tianyao under their breath. Gao Tianyao was so angry that smoke almost came out of his head when he heard their curses. Fortunately, a large group of beauties soon arrived and surrounded Gao Tianyao and the others. Hua Yan's heart was stirred when she saw the group of beauties. She liked the pretty girl group very much, and she would be overjoyed if she could sit in the first row to watch the concert. However, when she thought of Gao Tianyao's treacherous and cunning character, she decided not to go over. Sure, over here. Qin Feng saw Xiao Shishir walking toward him, so he quickly waved at her. Xiao Shishir also saw Qin Feng. A blush flashed across her pretty face, but it quickly returned to normal. "Professor Xiao Feng, Hua Yan, Lu Jia, all of you are here. Wow, there are so many people waiting in line. I'm afraid we won't be able to watch the concert tonight. Sigh. I don't like any celebrities, but I'm interested in the pretty girl group. I didn't expect that I won't be able to watch the concert tonight." Ever since Xiao Shishir became friends with Xiao Feng, she became more cheerful and talkative. What she said just now was definitely more than what she had said in a week. Qin Feng was happy for Xiao Shishir when he saw the change in her. "You want to watch the pretty girl group's concert? Then come with me. The concert venue is not in the stadium. What are you waiting for?" Xiao Shishir and Hua Yan were stunned. The pretty girl group's announcement clearly stated that the concert venue was here. Did it change all of a sudden? Professor Qiaofeng, are you telling the truth? Qiao Shishir asked. Qin Feng laughed. I'm the personal assistant of the pretty girl group. Of course I'm telling the truth. Let's go and get a good seat before these students know about it. Without waiting for Qiao Shishir and Hua Yan's response, Qin Feng dragged the two girls away. Lu Jie heard Qin Feng's words, so he hastily tried to catch up with Qin Feng. Halfway through, Lu Jie heard Qiao Feng's voice. Fatty, stay here. I want you to inform these people about my message in half an hour. Lu Jie's face darkened as he watched Qin Feng abduct the two campus belles. Yo, Professor Qiaofeng, you're not cutting the queue anymore? You know you can't get a good seat, so you're giving up, right? Gao Tianyao became arrogant when he saw Qin Feng leaving. He looked at Qin Feng with a playful smile. Gao Tianyao, you must have spent a lot of money hiring people to get a good seat, right? Qin Feng stopped in front of Gao Tianyao and looked at him with a smile. When Gao Tianyao saw Hua Yan and Qiao Shishir, he quickly put on the airs of a rich young master. He crossed his arms over his chest and shook his legs. He tilted his head 45 degrees to the sky and said, Tisk, it's only 500,000 yuan. 10,000 yuan for each of them is nothing to me. I don't care at all. Gao Tianyao pretended that he didn't care, but his heart was bleeding. That was 500,000 yuan. That was his monthly allowance. Qin Feng knew what Gao Tianyao was thinking. He laughed and said, Gao Tianyao, you're really a rich man. Then I won't disturb you anymore. We're leaving. Chapter 641. When Gao Tianyao heard Qin Feng complimenting him as a tycoon, he felt as if he was about to float to the heavens. His head was tilted at a 45-degree angle to the sky, so he didn't even notice Qin Feng and his goddess, Qiao Shishir, walking away. Young Master Gao, stop looking at the sky. Qiao Shishir and Hua Yan have been abducted by Qin Feng. Feng Ming shouted anxiously. Gao Tianyao regained his senses and shouted at Qiao Shishir and Hua Yan, who were walking away, Hey, my two campus belles, don't go. I have 50 seats in the first row. Come and join my big family. I'm willing to give you the middle seat. Hey, can you hear me? Naturally, Qiao Shishir and Hua Yan heard Gao Tianyao's voice, but the two of them found him too disgusting to bother with him. Qin Feng brought the two girls to the biological laboratory in the old campus. The two girls were dumbfounded when they saw teacher Chang Exine chatting with the two beauties. The venue of the concert had been changed. Hey, superstar Rao Sherman. Nice to meet you. I'm Hua Yan, a student of Provincial Capital University. I like your songs very much. Hua Yan dashed towards Zhang Kuku, followed by Qiao Shishir. Zhang Kuku, you're so good at dancing. And you're so cute. Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku were startled by Hua Yan and Qiao Shishir's sudden appearance. However, after they understood the duo's identity and purpose, they took pictures and signed autographs with Qiao Shishir and Hua Yan. They did not act like superstars at all. Those who did not know better would have thought that they were sisters. When Chang Exine saw the four girls were having fun, she walked to Qin Feng and said coldly, Brat, why did you take so long to notify them of something? Did you go and pick up girls again? Are you trying to stall for time? Chang Exine was still in her tight-fitting uniform with a pair of black stockings. She looked sexy and capable. Teacher Chang Exine, I didn't pick up girls or slack off. I ran back and forth. Qin Feng lied as easily as he breathed. Chang Exine did not believe his lies. Chang Exine crossed her arms in front of her chest. She glared at Qin Feng and yelled, Stop your glib tongue. Go and help the security guards build the temporary stage. Chang Exine kept her eyes on Qin Feng and watched him work. Feeling helpless, Qin Feng had no choice but to help the security guards build the stage. While Qin Feng was busy, Lu Jie looked at his watch every minute. When he looked at his watch for the 30th time, the fat on his face trembled with excitement. It's here. Half an hour has finally passed. Students, I have good news for you. Tonight, the beautiful girl group's concert venue has been temporarily changed. It will not be held in the stadium. It will be held in the open space of the biological laboratory in the old campus. It will be held in the open air. With Lu Jie's naturally loud voice, it was a pity that he didn't go to the market to sell vegetables. As soon as he shouted, the crowd burst into an uproar. Especially those students who were at the end of the line and couldn't even see what the stadium gate looked like. They rushed madly toward the old campus. Gao Tianyao's group of 5 had already chosen their beauties. The group of more than 40 beautiful female students sat around Gao Tianyao's group, staring blankly at the opposite side of the stairs. Although these beauties were not half as perfect as Hua Yan and Xiao Shishir, they had the advantage in numbers. Gao Tianyao, Xiao Lei, and the others were overjoyed. They teased the beauties with some dirty jokes. Suddenly, someone screamed in surprise. "Ah, look! Why are there no more people in the stadium? There were thousands of people at the entrance just now. What the hell?" A few timid girls shrieked when someone mentioned ghosts. Gao Tianyao and his group also noticed the anomaly. Where the hell did everyone go? They are over there. Why did they run away? Another sharp-eyed girl saw the crowd running away. Those students seemed to be on steroids, as if they were in a race. They ran with all their might in the direction of the old school district. What the hell is going on? Did they take the wrong medicine? More than 40 girls started chattering among themselves. Gao Tianyao and the other 4 were dumbfounded. "Young Master Gao, what should we do? Why do I have a bad feeling about this?" Fang Ming was getting nervous. "Who knows? Let's go and have a look." Gao Tianyao was also feeling uneasy. He quickly ran toward the stadium. When they arrived at the stadium, they found that all the students had run away. Only the 50 students who had paid for Gao Tianyao's seat were left in the first row. "Young Master Gao, you are here." The 50 students stood up when they saw Gao Tianyao. Gao Tianyao was so dazzling that his eyes almost popped out. What the hell is going on? Where are they? Why did they all run away? Gao Tianyao asked. "Young Master Gao, just now there was an idiot spreading a rumor that the pretty girls' concert venue tonight has been changed. They said that they will be singing at the biological laboratory in the old campus. Do you think that these people are scammers? This must be a deliberate lie made up by someone to deceive those people who are queuing up. Look, now that everyone has left, they will definitely all run back in a while," one of the underlings explained with a smug look. Gao Tianyao's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. If dozens of people had been tricked into running away, then someone must have spread a rumor. Now that all the students had run away, you must be the idiot. Obviously, the concert venue had been changed. The lackeys did not seem to notice Gao Tianyao's expression and continued to talk. "Aren't those students stupid? I think 1 or 2 of them are playing too much. Their brains are damaged. Changing the venue. Why don't you spread a rumor that there was an earthquake tonight? Our young Master Gao spent 500,000 yuan to get the first row seats in the stadium. Do you think he spent the money for fun? Do you think our young Master Gao is an idiot?" Gao Tianyao could not bear to listen to them anymore. He wanted to tear those idiot lackeys into pieces. Gao Tianyao suddenly remembered that Xiao Feng had asked him how much he had spent on the venue when he left with Hua Yan and Xiao Shishir. Now that he thought about it, Gao Tianyao realized how stupid he was. It turned out that Xiao Feng already knew that the concert venue had been changed. Gao Tianyao wanted to cry, but he had no tears to shed when he thought about how his 500,000 yuan had gone down the drain. Gao Tianyao turned around angrily. Just as he walked out of the stadium, he saw 2 acquaintances walking toward him. Gao Tianyao quickly greeted them with a smile. Young Master Lu, young Master Yang, what brings you to Provincial Capital University?" Yang Can and Lu Shu were standing at the entrance of the stadium. They had just arrived and were ready to carry out tonight's kidnapping plan. However, when they arrived at the stadium, they were dumbfounded. Why was there no one around? "Gao Tianyao, I heard that the Pretty Girls group is having a concert in the stadium tonight. Where are the people from your university? Why can't I see anyone?" Lu Shu asked. He directly called Gao Tianyao's name, but Gao Tianyao was not angry at all. Instead, he smiled. "Young Master Lu, I just got the news that the Pretty Girls group's concert venue has been changed to the old campus. Are you 2 young masters going to the concert as well? Let's go together?" Lu Shu and Yang Can looked at each other. Coldness flashed in their eyes. In order to capture Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku, Yang Can had planted spies in Provincial Capital University. He did not expect that the concert venue would be changed suddenly. Yang Can's preparation was wasted. "Young Master Yang, what do you think?" Lu Shu asked Yang Can. He couldn't make the decision himself. Let's go with Gao Tianyao. I'll make a call to transfer our men there later, Yongkin said vaguely. Lu Shu nodded in agreement. After they reached an agreement, they began to walk toward the old campus. The 40-odd beauties came back to their senses. Now that the seats in the first row of the stadium were worthless, the girls immediately turned hostile. They cursed at Gao Tianyao and turned around to leave. Lu Shu and Yongkin didn't know why Gao Tianyao was cursed all the way. They were angered by the vulgarities they heard along the way. Gao Tianyao noticed the change in their expressions. He smiled and said nice things to them. He was afraid of offending them. When they arrived at the old campus, the open space in front of the biological laboratory was already crowded with people. 5 meters in front of the crowd was a temporary stage. When Lu Shu and Yongkin saw that the concert was actually held in the open air, they were both furious. Professor Qiaofeng, is there anything I can help you with? Prince William suddenly ran to Qin Feng when he was commanding the 20 security guards to set up the stage. Qin Feng looked around and spotted the representative group of the Saint Medical Academy. Qin Feng had been waiting for Prince William and the representative group to arrive. Since they were here, it was time for Qin Feng to carry out his plan. Prince William, you should go downstairs and wait for the concert to start. I'm afraid people will gossip if I let a student help me, Qin Feng said with a smile. Prince William was here to get closer to Qin Feng, so he didn't want to leave. He said with a smile, Professor Qiaofeng, you're welcome. I'm willing to help you. If there's anything I can do, Professor Qiaofeng, please arrange it. Since Prince William said so, we're still short of people. Go and help the security guards. Move the 2 stone lions to the side. Qin Feng pointed at the 2 domineering stone lions at the side of the stage. These stone lions were specially built by the school to welcome the beautiful girl group. The 2 stone lions were the same size. Each was more than 3 meters tall. They were completely made of stone and weighed at least a ton. Under Qin Feng's command, the 20 or so security guards moved around the stone lion. Prince William's mouth twitched when he saw this physical labor. He obviously didn't want to do it, but since he had already said it, he couldn't refuse. Pam Strong. I can definitely help them. Prince William reluctantly ran over. He found a spot and began to move the stone lion with his arms around it. Qin Feng was amused when he saw Prince William pushing the stone lions with all his might. He pointed at a manhole cover nearby and shouted, "Brothers, put this stone lion on top of the manhole cover." Prince William, who was pushing the stone lions with all his might, slipped and almost fell. He looked at the manhole cover nearby and a complicated light flashed in his eyes. Professor Qiaofeng, it's not good to put the manhole cover on, right? This should be a sewer. If there's a heavy rain, we can still drain it. Prince William hurriedly shouted at Qin Feng. Qin Feng's expression didn't change. He already knew that this tunnel was dug by people sent by the William family. It should be a secret passage used to sneak into provincial capital university. Oh, is this a sewer tunnel? Then I'll open the manhole cover and take a look. If it's really a sewer, then forget it. If it's not a sewer, it's better to put the stone lions on top. This is the best position. Chapter 642. Professor Qiaofeng, you're right. The location of the manhole cover is the best. It's the best place to place the stone lion. Prince William hastily stopped Qin Feng. Qin Feng said with a smile, Prince Wei, why do you change your mind so quickly? You seem to be a little nervous. Don't tell me you're sick? Prince William's forehead was covered with a layer of cold sweat. If Qin Feng opened the manhole cover, they would be in big trouble. Prince William tried his best to remain calm. He chuckled and said, I've made Professor Qiaofeng worry. I'm not sick. It's just that moving the stone lion was too strenuous, so I'm sweating all over. I think it's a good idea to block the manhole cover. Otherwise, if a thief steals the manhole cover and someone falls into the sewer in the middle of the night, someone might die. Qin Feng admired Prince William's ability to make up lies. Why don't you make it more convincing? Qin Feng nodded without batting an eyelid and said, Yes. Prince Wei's words are quite reasonable. Then let's put the stone lion on it. Prince William didn't dare to speak anymore. He hastily moved the stone lion with the group of security guards. Seeing that he had personally used the stone lion to block the exit of the secret tunnel, Prince William's heart was bleeding. Why the fuck did I come here to help? The huge stone lion was very heavy. It took more than 10 minutes for the security guards to move it 1 meter. After they pressed the stone lion on the manhole cover, the security guards sat on the ground, panting heavily. Brothers, don't be in a hurry to rest. Let's put the other stone lion on the manhole cover over there. Prince Wei's words are very reasonable. This manhole cover must be blocked as well. Otherwise, someone might fall to his death. Qin Feng pointed at the other tunnel exit and chuckled. Prince William had just caught his breath. His eyes rolled back and he almost fainted from anger. Under Qin Feng's encouragement, the 20 or so security guards got up and continued to move the other stone lion. Prince William wanted to persuade Qin Feng, but he swallowed his words. He was afraid that Qin Feng's curiosity would be triggered again. What if he opened the manhole cover? Qin Feng was overjoyed when he saw Prince William sealing the William family's tunnel exit. At this moment, Gao Tianyao walked over with Lu Shu and Yang Can. As soon as Gao Tianyao arrived, he saw Qin Feng standing on the stage. He was so angry that he gnashed his teeth. Gao Tianyao looked at Lu Shu and Yang Can, who were standing next to him. His lips curled into a smirk. A brilliant plan formed in Gao Tianyao's mind. Lu Shu and Yang Can were extremely sullen when they found out that the pretty girls' concert was held outdoors. They were thinking of ways to kidnap Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku. At this moment, Lu Shu and Zhang Kuku. Young masters, I didn't expect you to be fans of the pretty girls group. Lu Shu and Yang Can glanced at Gao Tianyao. Obviously, they did not want to talk to him. However, Gao Tianyao was the grandson of the Gao family, which was the leader of the 5 small families in the capital. Lu Shu and Yang Can glanced at Gao Tianyao and ignored him. However, Gao Tianyao was the grandson of the Gao family, the leader of the 5 small families in the provincial capital. Gao Tianyao continued, Young masters, since you've come to provincial capital university, do you want me to find a few beautiful girls to accompany you? The quality of the girls in provincial capital university is pretty good. Hee. The 3 of them were rich young masters in the provincial capital. Their interests were the same, so there was no need to pretend. Lu Shu and Yang Can looked at each other with excitement in their eyes. Tonight's kidnapping plan was a little difficult. It would be great if they could get a few beautiful female students. Gao Tianyao, you should know my and young master Yang's taste, right? Lu Shu cleared his throat and said without changing his expression. Gao Tianyao was excited when he saw the 2 of them were tempted. I know. Of course I know. Young masters, don't worry. I'll find a few beautiful girls for you. They're as beautiful as young models. Lu Shu and Yang Can were excited when they heard Gao Tianyao's words. Show us a few girls first. Without any hesitation, Gao Tianyao pointed at Hua Yan, who was standing next to the group of beautiful girls. This girl was definitely one of the best beauties in Jindu University. Not only was she stunning, but her curvaceous body was also undeniable. Following Gao Tianyao's finger, Yang Can and Lu Shu soon discovered Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku. Lu Shu and Yang Can's hearts were stirred when they saw the 2 women, but they quickly suppressed their emotions and looked at Hua Yan. Lu Shu and Yang Can were stunned when their eyes fell on Hua Yan's delicate face. Hua Yan's facial features were exquisite. She looked like she was of mixed race. She was tall and had a perfect body. Her breasts bounced with every movement she made. Provincial capital university had such beautiful girls? Lu Shu and Yang Can's horizons were broadened. Lu Shu and Yang Can were immersed in Hua Yan's beauty. They shifted their gaze and saw Qiao Shishir, who was standing next to Hua Yan. Qiao Shishir stood quietly in the cold wind like a fairy who had been forgotten in the mortal world. Her temperament was comparable to Dongfang Qing Shui's. Her snow-white cotton-padded jacket was the same color as her face. It was as if she had merged with the white snow. Young Master Lu, Young Master Yang, what do you think? Lu Shu and Yang Can's eyes almost popped out of their sockets when they looked at the 2 girls. Gao Tianyao waved his hand in front of their eyes when he saw their second young master was silent. Gulp! Both of them swallowed their saliva when they regained their senses. Hua Yan and Qiao Shishir were top-class beauties. They were on the same level as Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku. How could Lu Shu and Yang cannot be satisfied? They were so satisfied that they could die. However, they pretended to be calm after they regained their senses. After all, they were the 4 young masters of the provincial capital. They couldn't make a fuss over nothing. Yes, they're okay. Lu Shu nodded. Yang Kan rested his chin on his hand and said unhurriedly, "Are the 2 girls who took the photo with the 2 girls from your university?" Initially, Gao Tianyao only wanted to introduce Hua Yin to others because he had no intention of pursuing her. Moreover, Qiao Feng seemed to like Hua Yin, so Gao Tianyao considered this as revenge. However, Lu Shu and Yang Kan had their eyes on Qiao Shishir as well. This made Gao Tianyao worried. Qiao Shishir was his goddess. "Young masters, that big-breasted girl is a student of our university. She has a hot temper just like little Chili. I'm sure it'll be great to have her serve you 2 young masters." Gao Tianyao purposely did not mention Qiao Shishir. Lu Shu nodded and said, "That big-breasted girl is indeed not bad. The quiet girl beside her is also not bad. Call them over now." Gao Tianyao rolled his eyes. He was so angry that he almost died. Before he could say anything, Yang Kan's eyes lit up. He suddenly said, "That girl in black stockings is also a student?" Gao Tianyao looked at the girl Yang Kan pointed at. It was Chang Xian. "She's not a student. She's a beautiful teacher from the medical college." Gao Tianyao said truthfully. Yang Kan and Lu Shu were so excited that they could die. Their teacher was the best. They loved playing with their teacher the most. "Yes, call that teacher over as well. Hurry up and don't waste our time." Since Yang Kan and Lu Shu had spoken, Gao Tianyao dared not voice out his grievances. He wanted to trick Hua Yin into coming over and provoke the conflict between Qiao Feng and the 2 young masters. He did not expect that he would lose his goddess as well. What the hell was this? "Young masters, I'm afraid we can't call that teacher." Gao Tianyao looked at the 2 young masters with a worried expression. Lu Shu was displeased. "Why not? Tell them that the 2 young masters of the capital's 4 young masters want to have a chat with them. They'd be fools if they don't come." Gao Tianyao was happy when he saw Lu Shu was angry. He pretended to be sad and said, "Young Master Lu, you're right. But that teacher already has a suitor in school. The man who's pursuing her is also a teacher from my medical college. I don't dare to offend that teacher. Otherwise, I won't be able to graduate." Lu Shu and Yang Kan glared at Gao Tianyao. Yang Kan said, "You're a rich young master in the capital. Why are you afraid of a teacher in school? Aren't you afraid of losing face?" "Young Master Yang, I'm not afraid of that teacher. I'm afraid of my father. He wants me to study hard. If that teacher tells on me, I'll be beaten again when I get home." Gao Tianyao made up a lot of excuses, but he didn't dare to go. Yang Kan and Lu Shu looked at Hua Yin from time to time. The more they looked, the more they liked the 3 girls. Lu Shu could not wait any longer. He shouted impatiently, "Go, go, go. Call that teacher over. I'll kick him out." Gao Tianyao had been waiting for Lu Shu to say this. A smile blossomed on his face. "Okay, young masters, please wait for a moment. I'll call him over right now." Gao Tianyao eagerly ran towards Qin Feng. Qin Feng and the 20 or so security guards had already finished setting up the stage, and they were almost done with the miscellaneous work. "Teacher Qiao Feng, please come with me. Someone wants to see you." Gao Tianyao jumped onto the stage and looked at Qin Feng with a lukewarm gaze. "Aya, your grandpa. Are you trying to cause trouble for teacher Qiao Feng again? I'll beat you up right now. Get out of my sight." Before Qin Feng could say anything, Lu Jia suddenly leaped onto the stage. His weight shook the stage a few times. Gao Tianyao gnashed his teeth in anger. He used to bully Lu Jia whenever he saw him, but now it was the other way around. Life was full of ups and downs. "Lu Jia, I'm not looking for you. Don't look for trouble." Gao Tianyao glared at Lu Jia. As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Jia slapped him. Slap. The crisp sound startled the students. When they saw what happened on the stage, they were even more shocked. "Hey, are you threatening me? I dare you to threaten me again. I'll slap you if I want to. Do you think I'm joking?" Lu Jia never hesitated to hit Gao Tianyao because Gao Tianyao used to bully him in the same way. Half of Gao Tianyao's face turned red and swollen after Lu Jia's slap. He covered his face with one hand and looked at Lu Jia in shock. Gao Tianyao wanted to beat Lu Jia up, but he knew he was no match for Lu Jia, so he swallowed his anger. Good, very good. Lu Jia, remember this. I'm here to see Qiao Feng because someone wants to see him. Do you know who wants to see him? Let me tell you. It's young Master Lu and young Master Yang of the 4 young masters of the provincial capital. They want to see Qiao Feng. Ha ha ha. Lu Jia, you're dead meat today. Gao Tianyao had been slapped in the face, but he was still able to laugh. The students in the audience all thought that Gao Tianyao had been slapped silly. Qin Feng and Lu Jia stood on the stage in a daze. They never thought that Lu Shu and Yang Ken would come to see Qin Feng. Are these two masochists? P.S. There are still 14 days left in June. We're still at the 10th place in the monthly votes ranking. Can you guys hold on? From today onwards we'll get more than 50 monthly votes every day. There's no limit to the number of monthly votes. Brothers and sisters, vote like crazy. As long as the monthly votes are fierce enough, young Master Du will go crazy. Chapter 643. Ha ha ha. The makeshift stage was filled with Gao Tianyao's laughter. He laughed so hard that tears came out of his eyes. When Gao Tianyao saw Qin Feng and Lu Jia standing there in a daze, he thought they were scared out of their wits after hearing the names of young Master Lu and young Master Yang. Gao Tianyao tolerated Qiao Feng and Lu Jia in school, and today he finally had his revenge. Lu Jia, why did you hit him so hard? You've knocked him silly. Qin Feng mumbled to Lu Jia. Lu Jia looked worried. He also thought that Gao Tianyao had lost his mind. He was worried that he would be arrested and sent to the police station. Gao Tianyao was knocked out by Liang Yu at the gathering of the rich and powerful last night, and was escorted home by the Soaring Cloud Mansion's security. He didn't know what happened after that, and that was why he acted so stupidly. Haha, Lu Jia, can you keep being so arrogant? Are you scared out of your wits? Don't even think about leaving now. Come with me to meet young Master Lu and young Master Yang, and I'll teach you a lesson. Gao Tianyao finally had enough of laughing. His expression turned cold as he glared at Lu Jia. Lu Jia was about to slap this idiot again to see if he could slap him back to normal. However, just as Lu Jia was about to make his move, Qin Feng stopped him. Gao Tianyao, you're not joking with me, are you? The 2 young masters of the provincial capital are looking for me? Qin Feng asked Gao Tianyao. Gao Tianyao thought Qiao Feng was feeling guilty, so he was very pleased with himself. He crossed his arms in front of his chest and said arrogantly, Humph, do you think I'm lying to you? Young Master Lu and young Master Yang are waiting outside the crowd. Don't try to stall for time. Hurry up and follow me. If you make the 2 young masters wait too long, you'll die a horrible death. Oh, lead the way then. Qin Feng said. Gao Tianyao was stunned. He thought Qiao Feng would beg him for mercy, but when he saw Qiao Feng's calm expression, Gao Tianyao thought he must be faking it. TSK, let's see how long you can pretend. You'll suffer when you see the 2 young masters. Gao Tianyao grumbled for a while before he walked toward the willow tree. Qin Feng and Lu Jia followed behind him leisurely. Young Master Lu, young Master Yang, I've brought them here. That ordinary-looking brat is Teacher Qiao, and Lu Jia is his student. I heard that you 2 young masters want to cause trouble for Teacher Qiao Feng. So Lu Jia said that he wants to settle the score with you 2 young masters. Gao Tianyao had already run to Lu Shu and Yang Can's side. He started badmouthing Qin Feng and Lu Jia. Since Lu Jia was also a disciple of one of the 5 small families in the capital, Gao Tianyao knew that the 2 young masters knew Lu Jia. Gao Tianyao was still badmouthing Lu Jia and Qin Feng, trying to infuriate the 2 young masters into teaching them a lesson. However, when Yang Can and Lu Shu saw Qiao Feng and Qin Feng walking toward them, their expressions changed. In the end, their faces turned as black as the bottom of a pot. They wanted nothing more than to send Gao Tianyao flying with a kick. Yo! Was it really young Master Lu and young Master Yang? Long time no see. Qin Feng walked over and looked at Lu Shu and Yang Can with a smile. The 2 of them were furious. They had just met Qiao Feng at the Soaring Cloud Mansion last night. How could this be called long time no see? If it was possible, Lu Shu and Yang Can wished that they would never see Qin Feng again. Humph! I've already told you 2 country bumpkins that young Master Lu and young Master Yang are looking for you. You didn't believe me and even badmouthed the 2 young masters behind their backs. I think you're being disrespectful to the 2 young masters. Gao Tianyao didn't let go of any opportunity to drive a wedge between the 4 of them. He chattered incessantly, but Qin Feng and the others ignored him. They treated Gao Tianyao like a clown. Qin Feng looked at Lu Shu and Yang Can and said, "Huh? I remember I took in 3 useless underlings at the Soaring Cloud Mansion last night. Shouldn't they say something when they see their big brother?" Lu Shu and Yang Can's lips twitched, and they gritted their teeth in anger. The 2 of them just stood there without saying a word or retorting, just like 2 wooden stakes. "Senior, my old friend, over here. Why are you here?" Qin Feng suddenly waved his hand behind Lu Shu and Yang Can. The 2 of them were so scared that their legs went soft and they fell to the ground. They were scared half to death by that old monster Ouying Feng last night, and there was still a shadow in their hearts. "Young masters, why are you 2 sitting on the ground? Get up." Gao Tianyao was startled by the strange behavior of the willow tree and Yang Can. He looked surprised. The 2 of them looked behind them after they fell to the ground. There was not even a shadow behind them. Lu Shu and Yang Can were so angry that they jumped to their feet. No matter how stupid they were, they knew that they were fooled by Qin Feng. "Xiao Feng, don't push your luck. We'll pretend that nothing happened last night. Lu Shu and I won't trouble you anymore. But don't take that underling seriously. Otherwise it won't be good for either of us if we fall out with each other." Lu Shu and Yang Can were forced to be Qin Feng's underlings under Ouying Feng's threat last night. They regretted their decision after the incident. They were the 4 young masters of the provincial capital. How could they be the underlings of an ordinary teacher? How were they going to live in the provincial capital in the future? Gao Tianyao didn't understand what they were talking about. Lu Jia clenched his fists and was ready to explode when he saw Lu Shu and Yang Can were about to go back on their words. Qin Feng acted as if he didn't hear them. He took out his cell phone unhurriedly and dialed a number as he said, "Alas, I knew this would happen. In this society, the most basic trust between people is gone. Luckily, my old friend gave me his number yesterday and told me to call him if I need anything. Ah, big brother Xiao Feng, why are you here? I'm so happy to see you." Lu Shu was the most timid of the 4 young masters of the provincial capital. His legs were trembling with fear. He looked at Qin Feng with a smile on his chubby face. He looked like the Maitreya Buddha. Yang Can was still in a daze. His heart skipped a beat when he saw Xiao Feng on the phone. He didn't expect Lu Shu to be so shameless. "How shameless can you be? Big brother Xiao Feng, it's really you. I'm Yang Can, your little brother. You haven't forgotten about a nobody like me, have you?" Yang Can turned around and started to flatter Qin Feng after cursing Lu Shu in his heart. Lu Jia's face was full of disdain when he saw the 2 young masters' shameless behavior. He recalled that when he was with teacher Xiao Feng, Lu Shu and Yang Can behaved in the same manner. Lu Jia quickly put away the look of disdain on his face. Gao Tianyao was dumbfounded. His mouth was so wide open that his fist could fit inside. He felt like he was dreaming. Is the end of the world coming? Are Lu Shu and Yang Can crazy? "Young masters, what's wrong with you? Didn't you say that you like teacher Chang Xian and want to teach teacher Xiao Feng a lesson?" Bang! Lu Shu's eyes almost popped out of their sockets before Gao Tianyao could finish his sentence. He quickly kicked Gao Tianyao and sent him flying. Gao Tianyao fell on the hard ground and wailed in pain. Gao Tianyao still couldn't figure out what was going on. "What's going on? Who's hitting someone in school?" A cold voice drifted into their ears as soon as Gao Tianyao fell to the ground. Qin Feng and the others looked in the direction of the voice. A valiant and formidable-looking policewoman in a police uniform walked toward them. She was followed by a dozen of her subordinates. "Lu Bingbing, why are you here?" Lu Shu beat Qin Feng to it. Lu Bingbing's footsteps paused. Lu Bingbing's footsteps clearly paused. She didn't expect to see a willow tree here. "Cousin," Lu Bingbing called out to Lu Shu. She paused for a moment before she continued. "The pretty girls are holding a concert here tonight. The principal of Provincial Capital University has requested the police to protect the 2 superstars." Lu Bingbing stated her purpose of visit. Lu Shu nodded slightly. Yang Can's gaze lingered on Lu Bingbing. Lu Bingbing and Dongfang Qingxue were known as the four fairies of the provincial capital. Dongfang Qingxue was fresh and refined, while Lu Bingbing was cold and fiery. Qin Feng was stunned. He didn't expect Lu Bingbing to be a member of the Lu family of the provincial capital. Lu Shu, whom he had bullied several times, was her cousin? Cousin Bingbing, that kid who was screaming on the ground, fell on his own. No one hit him. You might have misunderstood. Lu Shu recovered from his shock and quickly denied the fact that he was the one who hit Lu Bingbing. Lu Bingbing saw Gao Tianyao fall from the sky and fall to the ground with her own eyes. If he had fallen on his own, then it would have taken a lot of skill. Lady Lu, young Master Lu is right. I accidentally fell on my own. I'm fine now. Gao Tianyao was a stage 4 inner chi martial artist after all, so he was able to get up quickly after falling. Lu Shu glared at Gao Tianyao and reprimanded him. What an idiot. You can't even walk and fall. Get out of here. The corner of Gao Tianyao's mouth twitched violently. He was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. However, the other party was young Master Lu. Gao Tianyao didn't have the guts to offend young Master Lu. So he put on a smile and said, "You're right, young Master Lu. I'm too stupid. I'll leave now." Gao Tianyao slipped away. Lu Bingbing hated this kind of people who were cowardly. She cast a cold glance at Gao Tianyao. Big brother Xiaofeng, if there's nothing else, I'll take my leave with Yang Can. Lu Bingbing and Lu Shu didn't seem to have a good relationship. They only greeted each other when they met and then ignored each other. Qin Feng wanted to play with Lu Shu and Yang Can for a little longer, but Lu Bingbing suddenly appeared. Qin Feng was in no mood to entertain these two idiots. He waved his hand impatiently and said, "Get out of here. If you want me to remind you again, I'll have to ask my senior friends to pay a visit to the Lu and Yang family's old mansions." When Lu Shu and Yang Can heard Qin Feng's last sentence, they were so scared that their faces turned pale. They nodded hastily and ran away with their tails between their legs. Lu Bingbing was stunned for a long time. She knew Xiaofeng was Qin Feng, but how did Lu Shu and Yang Can become Qin Feng's underlings? This matter was too ridiculous. "Director Lu, what should we do now?" Lu Bingbing stood there in a daze. The dozen police officers behind her were also confused. You go find the person in charge of Provincial Capital University and hand over the work to them. I have something to do here. I'll go after I'm done." Lu Bingbing quickly regained her composure and returned to her usual cold and capable self. The 10 or so subordinates received their orders and walked in an orderly manner toward the beautiful maiden combination. Lu Jie stared at Lu Bingbing with an excited expression. He suddenly extended a chubby hand and said with a chuckle, Fairy Lu, I'm the only son of the eldest grandson of the Lu family, one of the 5 small families. Pleased to meet you, Bang." Before Lu Jie could finish his sentence, his huge body was sent flying. As soon as his body landed on the ground, Qin Feng said coldly, "Go and help them. Are you trying to rebel?" Chapter 644. After the annoying guys were gone, Qin Feng and Lu Bingbing looked at each other. There was a warm atmosphere around them. "Bingbing, why do they call you fairy?" Qin Feng asked. He had heard that Dongfang Qingxue was also called a fairy in the Soaring Cloud Mansion. Lu Bingbing gave a rare smile. Her smile could topple cities and countries. "Those are just some stupid playboys in the provincial capital. I never cared." Then Lu Bingbing's expression changed. She looked at Qin Feng seriously and said, "By the way, are Lu Shu and Yang Can your underlings?" "Yeah, those 2 little brothers are too useless. I'm very dissatisfied with them," Qin Feng said casually. Lu Bingbing slapped her forehead and looked at Qin Feng in disbelief. "Why are they willing to be your underlings? You're not happy. Do you know how much power the 4 young masters of the capital have in the capital? How many people are fighting to be their lackeys?" Lu Bingbing was indeed born in the Lu family in the provincial capital. However, she was a girl and her parents were collateral relatives of the Lu family. Therefore, she was not valued by the family. Her position in the Lu family was less than half of Lu Shu's. In fact, her position was similar to that of the nanny who raised Lu Shu. Therefore, Lu Bingbing knew the power and influence of the rich and powerful. That was why she was so shocked when she found out that Lu Shu had become Qin Feng's underling. It's a long story. If you have time, you can ask about what happened at the gathering of the rich and powerful in the Soaring Cloud Mansion last night. Then you'll understand. Qin Feng rarely spent time with Lu Bingbing, so he didn't want to talk about Lu Shu and the other annoying things. Qin Feng's gaze fell on Lu Bingbing's full breasts. He smirked. Lu Bingbing's cold face started to melt. Bingbing, how come your body doesn't change? You haven't eaten the blood qi pill, right? Unbeknownst to Lu Bingbing, Qin Feng's large hand was already on her waist. Lu Bingbing jumped in fright and wanted to get rid of Qin Feng. However, she looked around and saw that no one was paying attention to them, so she let Qin Feng touch her. I just finished a few cases today. I've been so busy these days that I didn't have time to eat the blood qi pill. I'm going to eat it tonight, Lu Bingbing said. I see. Qin Feng looked around with a smile. He pinched Lu Bingbing's waist and said, Bingbing, I'll go to your house to protect you tonight. Lu Bingbing slapped Qin Feng's hand away and said coldly, You wish. Why would I need you to protect me when I'm breaking through at home? I live in a high-class mansion. I don't need you to protect me when I'm breaking through at home. How could Lu Bingbing not see through Qin Feng's intentions? Qin Feng wanted to sleep at Lu Bingbing's place at night. Lu Bingbing blushed when she recalled the crazy scene in the interrogation room not long ago. Alright, I'm just joking. If you really want me to sleep with you, I'll have to think about it. Qin Feng said, pursing his lips. Lu Bingbing gritted her teeth and pinched Qin Feng's lower back. Who said I asked you to sleep with me? Stop dreaming. From today onwards, don't even think about touching me for half a year. Qin Feng and Lu Bingbing fooled around with each other. They were definitely a pair of quarrelsome lovers. Although Lu Bingbing's expression was cold, she was actually very happy. She felt that she was becoming more and more reliant on Qin Feng. Every time she was with Qin Feng, Lu Bingbing felt more at ease. Good evening, teachers and students of Provincial Capital University. Chang Xian's voice came from the stage after Qin Feng and Lu Bingbing quarreled for a long time. The sky gradually darkened. Chang Xian stood on the stage in a tight-fitting black uniform. When the lights shone on her tall and sexy body, tens of thousands of teachers and students in the audience cheered and screamed. Their cheers were as loud as thunder. Chang Xian held the microphone with a smile on her face. She waited until the noise from the audience faded away before she continued, Welcome, everyone, to the Pretty Girls concert tonight. The concert will officially start in 10 minutes. Please sit on the grass and don't walk around. Please be careful. Chang Xian explained some things to take note of during the concert. The students sat cross-legged with excitement on their faces. They had been waiting for this moment for a whole day. While Qin Feng was admiring Chang Xian's body, he suddenly felt a burning pain on his waist. Then he heard Lu Bingbing's icy voice. You can't behave yourself even when I'm beside you. If you keep looking, I'll cripple you. Qin Feng quickly retracted his gaze and complained to Lu Bingbing. You won't let me hug or touch you even when you're beside me. Can't I look at other people? You're too overbearing. Lu Bingbing opened her sexy mouth, but she couldn't find any words to refute Qin Feng. The sky was getting dark. Lu Bingbing scanned her surroundings like a thief. When she made sure no one was paying attention to them, she tilted her body and leaned on Qin Feng's shoulder. Qin Feng smirked and pulled Lu Bingbing into his arms. Lu Bingbing's body trembled, but she didn't struggle out of Qin Feng's embrace. The two of them sat at the back of the crowd like a pair of newlyweds in love. It was a strange feeling. Lu Bingbing was a little nervous and shy, but she found it hard to resist. The concert of the Pretty Girls duo officially began. Several lights shone on the stage, illuminating the sky. Everyone's gaze fell on the stage. Two young and sweet beauties gracefully walked up the stage. Wow! Rao Sherman. It's Rao Sherman. Cuckoo, cuckoo, we love you. Oh no, oh no. Both Sherman and Cuckoo are so beautiful. Which one should I choose to be my girlfriend? As soon as Rao Sherman and Zhang Cuckoo walked up the stage, the entire field was filled with excitement. The two girls merely stood on the stage with a microphone in their hands. They didn't even say a word or sing a song, but the fans were already so passionate. This was what true hardcore fans were like. Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku were overjoyed when they saw the audience's enthusiastic reaction. Rao Sherman wore a white knee-length dress and a crystal crown on her head. Her slender legs were covered with colorful knee-high socks and snow-white canvas shoes. She looked sexy and elegant at the same time. Zhang Kuku was dressed in a cool denim patchwork outfit with a hip-hop hat on her head. There was a little star painted on her pretty face. From time to time she would stick her tongue out at the audience. She was so adorable that they almost melted. The dazzling lights shone on the two girls as if it was daytime. The audience could clearly see the two girls' faces. A few male students were so excited that their breaths quickened. They were carried away on stretchers for treatment. Hello everyone. I'm Rao Sherman from the Pretty Girls Duo. I'm Zhang Kuku from the Pretty Girls Duo. When the crowd quieted down, Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku took the microphone and introduced themselves. As soon as they spoke, the crowd cheered and screamed again. It was as if the stock market had encountered a bull market. Thank you very much for attending our concert tonight. Kuku and I are also students of Provincial Capital University. It's our honor to be able to return to campus and cheer for our juniors. Rao Sherman's voice was as melodious as the tinkling of spring water. The hearts of the male students melted when they heard her voice. Next, I'd like to thank Principal Wang and the leaders and teachers of Provincial Capital University. The leaders of the university contributed a lot to the success of this concert. I'd also like to thank Teacher Chang Xian and Teacher Qiao Feng. Thank you for taking care of me. Rao Sherman said some words of gratitude before she started singing. This was just a formality, so the audience was already used to it. However, when Rao Sherman mentioned Teacher Qiao Feng's name, the students in the audience exploded. The male students, in particular, cursed Teacher Qiao Feng and his ancestors in their hearts. When they found out that Teacher Qiao Feng was arranged to be the personal assistant of the Pretty Girls Duo, they had a bad premonition. It seemed like Teacher Qiao Feng had succeeded. Oh, Bing Bing, have you been eating too many crabs lately? Why do you keep pinching me? Qin Feng was holding Lu Bingbing contentedly when he felt a sharp pain in his thigh. Continue pretending. Boy, you really live up to the title of Acropolis City's #1 hedonistic young master. Why do you have to flirt with every beauty you see? Lu Bingbing glared at Qin Feng angrily. Qin Feng's philandering was driving her mad, but Lu Bingbing couldn't do anything about it. Qin Feng felt helpless. Why did Rao Sherman thank me for nothing? If she really wanted to thank me, why did she call me to her room in the middle of the night? This kind of verbal gratitude is so hypocritical. Bingbing, don't misunderstand. This time, I was arranged to be the personal assistant of the beautiful girl group by the school leaders. This matter was arranged by Principal Wang, so I couldn't refuse it even if I wanted to. So, the two little girls thanked me, but it was just a formality. Qin Feng hastily hugged Lu Bingbing tightly and said all kinds of nice words to comfort her. Lu Bingbing believed him and felt a little guilty for pinching Qin Feng's thigh. Suddenly, Lu Jie's loud voice drifted from the front row. His voice was filled with excitement. Teacher Qiao Feng, the superstar Rao Sherman mentioned your name and even thanked you. It seems like your action of fawning on Principal Wang and forcing him to make you the personal assistant of the Pretty Girls Duo is not bad at all. Teacher Qiao Feng, you're too awesome. Teach me how to pick up girls when you have time. Ouch! As soon as Lu Jie finished speaking, Qin Feng felt a sharp pain deep in his thigh. Qin Feng's thigh was almost crippled. Teacher Qiao Feng, why did you kick my butt again? Lu Jie's blood-curdling scream came from mid-air. Lu Jie fell heavily on the empty ground behind Qin Feng. Qin Feng deliberately turned his body sideways to avoid looking at Lu Bingbing. Lu Bingbing was so angry that her delicate body trembled. She kicked Qin Feng and said, "You pervert. Don't even think of touching me for a year." Now, Kiki and I will officially begin our concert. We will first present the song, Because of You. Rao Sherman's melodious voice sounded. The Pretty Girls Duo was about to start singing. Wow, I love this song the most. Sherman will love you forever. It's starting. I'm so excited. My heart is beating so fast. Ambulance. I'm going to faint. Because of You was the song that made Rao Sherman famous. It was also her fans' favorite song. Because of You, I won't give up on my dream. Because of you, there's light in front of me. We met in the summer 8 years ago. Time flies in the blink of an eye. I'm walking on the road of my dream. And it's all because of you. You, where are you? Rao Sherman's temperament changed the moment she opened her mouth. She wore a snow-white short skirt and colorful knee socks. She stood quietly in the cold wind. Her fine black hair fluttered in the wind. Coupled with her ethereal and melodious voice, she sounded like a celestial being singing from the heavens. Zhang Kuku also began to sing. She was dubbing Rao Sherman's voice to make the song richer and more profound. You're tuning into the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.